And we are back. Damn right, baby. Episode 20? No?
19.
19?
I think
Shit.
we're still teen.
Fuck.
I don't think it's 20 yet.
Is it?
Wait, because we're 18. Fuck.
Is it
Not
18?
bad.
No, I think last week was
it's
18.
19 or 20, but I'm pretty sure it's 19.
All right, it's been a while since we had a Steiner Math segment,
Last
so
week really
we were
screwed
due.
me up because we weren't here.
Yeah,
so like
true,
I don't know.
that's
Last week
why.
was like its own
Because
thing.
we didn't make the usual joke of, oh, now we're 18, we
Right,
can do
exactly,
X, Y, and Z, but I'm pretty sure we're 19 now. And you can't do shit at 19 that you
can't.
couldn't do at 18.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a good point.
At least not in this country.
19
Maybe
and
in
20
other
are just like the worst ages
countries.
to be.
Pretty rough ages.
You can't drink yet. I mean, you're going to, but you're not supposed to drink yet.
And you were probably already drinking at
Oh,
18,
100%.
19,
Yeah,
so.
I was drinking at 19.
Like 16.
18, whatever the
So
hell.
confirm 19?
I don't know. I think it's hard for me. We'll say 19. We're going to roll with 19.
I feel good about 19.
I feel good.
Let's see here.
And you know what? If we're wrong, then we look like idiots, and that's fun too.
No, it's episode 19, and we just spent, let's see,
Vindication.
a minute and 15 seconds talking about what episode number it is. That's a Steiner Math segment for our people out
Not
there.
much to talk about this week. So
Plenty to talk about this week. Plenty to talk about. Listen, I know not a lot of people, there were some people online complaining about this whole Liv Morgan and Dom storyline. Those people don't like to have fun.
Fuck
I
you,
think it's been a blast, but maybe your time has come because MAMI is back.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley back in the building. We're going to talk about that. We're going to get there. We're going to recap some of what happened on Raw, but first,
Ben Aki.
I think it's important to look back on Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
All right, because it feels like every day is like a lifetime for me, especially these days.
I can imagine.
So it's hard to believe that Money in the Bank was this past weekend, but it was. I think we kind of could have seen that coming with what happened with Drew, right? With Drew winning.
Well, not only could we kind of see that coming, we
made the prediction, right?
Apparently, we host a podcast with the Oracle from The Matrix. Yeah, this man called it pretty much spot on.
We did good last week.
Like,
we did good.
You
guys.
fucking nailed that.
We did good. I didn't think it was gonna happen. As I said last week, it wasn't my overall prediction. I ended up picking Jay, but something was in my gut was telling me, one, that they could do this, but also two, that this would be the best kind of way to book it, and I'm glad they did it.
Yeah. I really thought they were going to do it in the Money in the Bank match itself, just so that way they could keep the briefcase on somebody and not kind of... I mean, in a way, the briefcase was kind of wasted for this year.
And that was my fear apprehension as to why I wouldn't do it.
But I also, now that we're back in person, you've given me my tinfoil hat back. I now have maybe a tinfoil hat theory. This is one we'll never know the truth or not. I kind of have a feeling Triple H doesn't actually like the Money in the Bank briefcase, but he knows the show is so popular that he can't not do it. So he just all right, fuck it, we'll eliminate one right away, and now we have to deal with this one.
Especially not after Nick Khan confirmed top 5 really has to be at that caliber of event. It's not going anywhere.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah, I don't know if I submit to that. I think it's more so of you just had it go all the way to Mania last year.
Right.
Drew is a man possessed right now, so it makes sense for him to win it immediately, cash it in, and make true of his promise. So I think that was an easy storyline for them. And honestly, the men's division, quite frankly, the women's too, but you can't have them both cash in the same night, I guess. Doesn't really need the Money in the Bank this year. I think there's enough...
Well, the top people don't, but you could use the Money in the Bank to elevate somebody into that. Like Edge in the very first... Like, Edge wasn't main event when he won and cashed in. And then RVD wasn't either when he cashed in on the second one.
Right, but...
I'm just saying it could be used as a launching pad.
It could be, but they don't need that right now. They don't... They have enough going on at the top, in the middle, that they don't really need to bring... nobody in the middle right now is going to need to be at the top between now and next Money in the Bank because they have their own stuff going on.
Yeah, we don't know that. I mean, injuries could happen, and now you're low on people, and you need somebody where the Money in the Bank could have been. I'm not
right.
anti
That's
what they did.
That's a classic Flanabam semantics, but I mean, no stone left unturned when it comes to Flanabam. But nobody's planning for in case they get injured, they just got to plan with what they got. You
just went through CM Punk's injury. Maybe you should start thinking to plan ahead.
Have a contingency plan.
Yeah,
right, that's my thing.
I do think
I'm not anti what they did. I'm just saying it kind of does feel like they just wasted it this year.
Yeah. I think you can absolutely categorize that as a waste. I think it's definitely because you didn't use it. It didn't make it past the night. But I do agree that there's so much. It's such a fertile ground for young talent that you have a Braun Breaker who doesn't need a briefcase because you can throw him into we were talking about. He could have been in the IC title match at Money, and that could have he could have had everything there and won it. And it might have been a little bit surprising, but it also been okay, I get it. Just a little quicker than we expected. So, yeah, I think both make sense. But, The pay-per-view's not going anywhere.
Oh,
so I
100%
think
not.
100% if Trips was like, okay, either I don't like the briefcase or there's a little bit of exhaustion because we felt like we just took it off somebody a day ago, we're going to go a different route and fucking swerve the people. It made for a hell of a swerve.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't because they kind of told us it was going to happen.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, Drew did.
Yeah,
Yep.
we kind of saw that coming, and we had our own prediction on who was going to win and who wasn't. But even with Drew cashing in, I think at that moment we all knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. Oh,
we all
absolutely.
knew that
Oh,
at
yeah.
that point CM Punk was going to show up. What we didn't anticipate was the botch that was going to happen on the pin.
Yeah.
I saw that in real time, and I
man.
was very confused.
So confused.
I mean, I know everybody was, but I'm just saying, like, I'm thinking back to that particular moment, and I
It
don't
felt
know.
like so long.
Yeah, and
Like-
I didn't know if it was like the tequila or if like if it was just like they really swerved us and Damian really was going to lose to Seth, and then I'm like, wait, where are they going with this? But nope, it was just a complete botch on Damian's part, the referee.
Yeah, I'm gonna completely.
Well, I mean,
throw-
Damian didn't move.
Yeah,
No,
he
I know,
didn't move.
right.
He didn't move. I think it was. First of all, I want to give kudos to the ref.
Yeah.
Because I think the ref handled it the right way.
Well, he got put in a shit spot.
Like, what else can I do here? I'm not gonna fuck up this much because it's not like a simple title change. That's never a simple thing. But this had so much more built into it.
Right.
Yeah.
This wasn't just we drop it to Seth and now we got to make sense of why we dropped it to Seth, which they probably could have done easily. This had so many more things. So kudos to the ref for holding pat, trying
Not
to
only
play it
that,
off and do
though.
what he could as best he could to not blow the moment up even worse.
And not only that, if Seth ends up winning, you don't, and Drew still cashes in. You don't make it a triple threat, which doesn't make it
right.
No disqualification.
which then there would be no point for CM Punk to interrupt the
Which
match.
I'm actually glad you brought that up. Can I just, not fully on topic, but on topic, as far as the kayfabe reason goes, why the fuck is CM Punk being fined? It's a triple threat match.
Yeah,
It's no DQ.
yes.
He's allowed to do that.
Yeah, that
why the
makes
fuck
sense.
are they fining him?
Yep.
That's a good point.
That's a really good point.
Like Drew McIntyre makes sense because he fucking elbowed Adam Pearson.
Yes.
You figure that.
Oh, yeah.
CM Punk, there's no reason in kayfabe wise why he should be fined.
That makes
I mean,
yeah.
obviously he wasn't actually
That's true.
fined. and
That
all,
makes
but-
total sense.
Maybe
glossed
trespassing.
over
Maybe
that.
he wasn't supposed to be there. They could slap on some bullshit.
Yeah, 'cause
reason.
I mean,
forgot what
but people
Pierce
do that
said
all
to
the
him.
time, and nobody's ever
That's a
been
good
fined.
point.
Yeah.
I mean, the Wyatt Sicks kill security guards every week.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no fines
Yeah.
for them.
Like actual murders, they're dead.
Yeah.
First
On
of all,
the table.
Michael
Not a
Cole and Pat need to find some better fucking security
Yeah,
because
yeah,
these
yeah.
dudes are dead every
need to
top
just fight,
slap
man.
on the same spot.
They need Craig and Day bad.
Yeah,
they're not
they
getting
need
the job
Steve
done.
Wilkos out there.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do.
he would
Yeah.
never let
Oh,
that
what a-
Such
shit
a good
happen.
security
What
guard.
a
He got his
pull.
own show out of it. Shout out to
That's
him.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wilkos would never let fucking Nikki Cross
No.
kill security guards to hand you a VHS tape. He'd say, "Nope, you want a VHS
Yeah.
tape? Here's Too Hot for TV, Jerry Springer, 1998.
Yeah,
that's
right.
what you get,
She
dumb
got a
bitch."
quick Steiner line.
Yeah.
But going back to the botch, I 100% think, and I'm pretty sure it was you who pointed this out, Nick, that it was on the person who didn't push the button to play
Yeah.
Drew's music. Like, it seems like that was where the timing issue came in. I at first thought, I was like, shit, is Priest really hurt? Because after he didn't move, I'm like, okay, that's usually a telltale sign. And then I saw the ref kind of whisper in his ear right away. So I thought maybe he was hurt. And then I think you pointed out, I was like, okay, it actually makes a lot more sense that it was just the timing on the music. Because it obviously
But even
came
that-
not too long after.
I don't know. I'm not buying that either. And I know that typically a music will interrupt a match, even though like it makes no sense realistically.
Yeah.
I guess
yeah.
it's just jarring
Like, why
for the
you
people
press
involved.
play in the middle of a match?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But I don't think that is even on the music guy. I think it's on Damian Priest. I think it was on Damian Priest not kicking out for some weird reason. Maybe he was a little
Which would be
disoriented.
so weird. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But the referee made the right decision. The music guy was probably at that point like he was supposed to kick out and then the music was supposed to hit. So he was probably waiting for Damian. So I think it's on Damian Priest. They don't want to bury their champion, but they have
Yeah.
acknowledged mistakes happen.
Right.
Seth acknowledged it, I think, during his promo on Raw.
Triple H did in the press conference.
Triple H did in the press conference. So I think that's their way of defending their
Priest
champion.
also mouthed right after the initial pin. He also mouthed like something like "dumb motherfucker" or something
yeah.
like that. Whereas if he was alluding to Nick, 100% could have been talking about himself.
I think he
but you
was.
could see he was pissed
Yes.
afterwards.
So here's why. I know Triple H said it wasn't on the music thing, and music doesn't interrupt a match. It does.
It
Like
does.
it's happened
It
in the
does
past,
every
let's
fucking
be
week,
real.
like-
But the main reason why I think it was the music guy is if you go back and watch when it comes to 2, when the music's supposed to hit, the lights come on in the arena. like they would when an entrance happens. Like you can see the lights in the arena change.
True, I did
So
recognize
like
that.
part of the production got the memo, the music's supposed to play, and it's like the other part of production didn't get the memo, music's supposed to play.
Similar to when Gable, right before Wyatt Sicks, the camera pans back
Yeah.
out to
Yeah.
show. Yeah. I didn't catch that on that match, but yep, that
If you
makes
go
sense.
back and rewatch it, you can see the lights.
I'm gonna have to go look at
they
that,
Change,
yeah.
like
I missed that.
they get brighter, like they come on, like the house lights come on, like they would for an entrance.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it was
Also, it makes you appreciate how many moving parts go into
Yeah.
these things.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
how many buttons
Yeah,
need
I mean,
to be
it's-
pushed, how many cues, how many things need to get through the headsets to everyone in a spot. Like timing.
And
is,
I'm just happy that they're now like fully embracing this shit instead of
Yes.
trying to make up some dumb excuse
Yeah.
like I don't know, the referee like went into fucking comatose mid pin or
Right.
something like
or turn him into like Nick Patrick and make him a
Yeah,
rogue
make
ref
him
now 'cause he
exactly. All of a
screwed
sudden
up,
he's a
like,
rogue ref. He's in the
like-
pocket
Right.
of the authority or whatever.
Or they pull like they did with Earl Hebner back in the day, like he's like kayfabe
Yes,
fired
yeah.
for like the night or some shit.
Yeah.
It'd
I'm
be-
glad
it'd
that
be
they
dope.
just are like, yeah, mistakes happen, you know,
Exactly,
just
yeah.
like they would in a regular sporting event.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm glad that they did that. And overall, I think that that's a really good way to now, again, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, that feud can continue without needing any championship associated with it.
Yeah.
Even though Drew's main goal at first was to get the belt back because he felt like Punk robbed him, but now he's seeing red. He's like, "Fuck this! I need to take CM Punk out. I'm
Yeah.
gonna kill him." And yeah, so that's kind of where we're at now, and I think that was really well done.
Yeah.
How close is Punk to being back?
He's got to
think
be
he's gotta be
close.
close.
He gotta be close, 'cause,
all
like-
of that run-in was done with his right arm and
Right,
shoulder,
right.
so it
I mean-
wasn't like he shied away from that. He leaned right into it. He's got to be there.
So I know in an interview he did semi-recently, he was saying he was hoping to be cleared by like late June, early July. So like
Because
now.
also in the press conference when he ran in and had his beautiful Celtic training kit on, he said, "I'm missing Raw Monday to go get cleared." Like,
Right.
those are the exact words that came out. He could have meant, again, could have been, "Oh, I'm going to get checked out in the process of getting cleared," but that's what he said. So I don't think they would have had him do that much the other day if he wasn't there. Because especially with him, like the last thing you want is a setback in the
Exactly.
11th hour.
Yeah.
Then
Right.
you really got to pivot and be like, fuck, what do we do now? Because I'm so glad that where as much as Punk and Drew has been amazing and we've loved it and it's completely outkicked its coverage in my sense, Seth and CM is what the fuck I want. Like, give me Seth Rollins and CM Punk.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what we've
gotta
all
be-
wanted. That's what was supposed to happen at the beginning.
Yes.
Everyone remembers Seth's reaction, which 100% we're told was a work, but I think it worked itself into a shoot.
Yeah.
When CM Punk debuted, they do not like each other in real life. I'm sure they're two professionals, and I think they're going to do the job, which Monday's promo kind of proved, but that's the fucking feud I want.
Yeah. Although I will say, I hope they don't make it a triple threat match. For
No.
SummerSlam.
No.
Like,
No.
keep it as just
Yes.
Punk and Drew. That's so hot
And
right
give
now.
me that. You can give me that through Mania now.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Shit,
You
yeah.
can do Punk Rollins at Mania
Yep.
like you were supposed to
Yep.
this past year.
Yeah, Rollins. I don't know who he's going to fight at SummerSlam. Something's going to have to happen between now and then. Maybe we see it Monday. They start some new program. That was his way of kind of addressing Punk and being like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm like," which was, by the way, Rollins
Phenomenal promo.
Phenomenal.
Mike worked
He
Punk.
did.
Yeah, he did.
Which
You could
is
see it
hard
all
to
over
do.
Punk's face.
He knew
Yeah.
it. He knew it. And both of them did such a phenomenal job of being like, there's some real shit here. But
Yeah.
they're both professionals. And Punk has, like, even when Rollins had the mic drop moment, there's still a part of me that's waiting for Punk to have the last
Yeah.
word.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Because
you're
that's
still-
what he's so good at.
and you're just used to him having to have the last word. But I love that Rollins was the one who had the last word. And was able to walk away and kind of leave Punk there, like, "Oh, okay, all right, I see you, buddy."
Right.
Like, you
And it was so well done. He said all the things that every Punk naysayer in the business has said about him. And depending on how you look at the story, you can frame it that way. And pretty much every occurrence that comes down to CM Punk. So it's so believable. It makes sense. It probably leans into their real life feud more than ever because that's probably where the origins of that was something that happened along the business and things happening. So like it couldn't have started any better. And to your point, yeah, I thought Seth absolutely crushed it.
Yeah, I agree. Like Seth killed it in that promo. He was better than Punk in that promo. Like he won. Promos don't usually have winners and losers, but this one did.
Yeah.
Rollins won.
No, he did. He did an amazing job. And again, I love that it was because we kind of forgot about that for a little bit. Was the Punk and Rollins was the initial
Right.
beef before the whole Drew thing happened. So I thought that was a really good job. And I think that CM Punk now we're probably not going to see him for a little bit because of Adam Pearce addressing him Monday night saying, "Listen, let me handle Drew, okay? Because if you keep fucking with him, there's never going to be a match. This shit's never going to happen. So I'm assuming that means that we're going to see Punk probably go away for a few weeks. My assumption.
Probably, yeah.
You know, because, just to let, like, Drew will probably come back next week.
I think they already said he's going to be back next
He's going to
week.
be back. They're going to have a conversation, and he's going to be out for blood, and then he's going to come to an agreement, and then maybe they go a week with neither one of them on TV or something. I don't know.
Because you got to build back up now.
You got to build back up.
Obviously, Money in the Bank was the crescendo of this chapter in the story. Now you got to, like you said, kind of let sleeping dogs lie a little bit. Let each one of them get their stuff off without confronting one another to build back up to probably SummerSlam or whatever's going to be next, and however they kind of culminate this thing. Like, there's got to be now, especially if we're going to Rollins and CM Punk, there's got to be the pivot. So I think this buys them a little bit of time without having them in the same building, so people aren't like, well, why aren't they confronting one another, so they can build kind of the out.
Right, exactly. And you don't want, granted, they're two very, very good people at their job, but you don't want fatigue from it either. If this is not something that's going to come to a head until SummerSlam, you want to be able to kind of slow build it still.
Although at the same time, SummerSlam's only, 5 weeks
Yeah, that's
away?
a good point.
So,
I keep forgetting that. Yeah,
It's August 3rd.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So like a month away.
Yeah,
so maybe
it's less than a month away.
Maybe Punk's taking a week off, but I don't think he's going to be missing that much time.
Yeah.
My timelines are all jacked up right now.
I get it. 'Cause we're used
No,
to
it is. Yeah, we
SummerSlam
SummerSlam being
being
the third week of third
It's
or fourth
usually
week.
like-
It's the third.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, closer to
I always
Labor
remember
Day.
SummerSlam used to literally be the last it was the Sunday that led into the last week before school started.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why I hated that it was always a good pay-per-view, because I'm like, well, fuck, because then the summer's over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why as a kid, I actually never looked at SummerSlam as the pay-per-view of the summer. For me, it was always WCW's Great American Bash. 'Cause that was always the start of summer
4th of July.
vacation. Exactly.
Yeah. King of the Ring too.
King of the Ring,
King of the Ring was always in June. That was always a good one for the summertime back in the day. But yeah, nothing like some summer PLEs, man.
Yeah, Bash at the Beach.
Bash at the
Come
Beach.
on.
That was always like the middle of the summer.
That was like,
That's where summer's going good.
Hottest.
This is where I can reflect on the summer. It's been going good. Then SummerSlam's like, oh fuck, summer's over.
Bash at the Beach. I saw somebody posted a picture of the the VHS for it the other day, and it had the match card in the back, and it had the main event, and it was surprise appearance by Hulk Hogan.
Right.
And it's like, you don't say. Maybe the biggest surprise appearance of all time.
Shout out to Bobby Heenan.
Yep.
Money in the Bank also brought us an incredible women's Money in the Bank match.
Bravo.
I mean, holy moly.
Yeah.
I think Flanny put it perfectly before we started recording. It was something that didn't feel like a spot fest, but it had a ton of spots in it. It wasn't just a straight up your turn, your turn, your turn. The match had flow to it.
Yeah.
All 6 women were phenomenal in it. And I mean, you had one of the best bumps, high risk bumps that we've seen in a very long time from Chelsea Green. So awesome match.
I mean, bare minimum best female bump of all time, if not even just best bump of all time.
Mae Young is up there.
That's true.
Mae Young taking the
stage.
Bubba Bomb off the stage.
Yeah, that's true.
That's got to be up there too for an old granny.
Bubba's look on that was priceless.
Perfect.
He knew he just killed
the
the
Trish
woman.
Stratus when he put the Bubba Bomb finally after she would always kiss him and work her way out of it. Shout out to Trish.
But at the same time,
she didn't tell me she was going to be in Toronto for the Money in the Bank hosting. Trish, I got what's up.
This is like that, but maybe another 10 feet to it.
True.
This was elevated even more.
Up there. And I forgot the tables were there.
I did too.
I completely forgot the tables were there. She leapt, and I'm like, wait a minute, she's not taking this bump. And then literally as the camera changed, I was like, oh, thank God.
Right,
The first time I left, thank God there's tables there.
Yeah.
I've never been so happy to see tables before.
But it's how many times have we seen tables set up in a TLC match or something, and they're stacked like that, and they are just completely half hit, or Jeff Hardy's barely touched one on a swanton before.
Hit
was
the
it
head
Bubba?
on the edge.
I think 17. Jeff Hardy literally misses. There's
It
2
hit
tables, and he misses one of them.
He misses one of them. He just hits his head.
I think it's Spike Dudley's on one and Rhino's on the other, and he hits Rhino, and Spike's got to roll
Spike's
off the table.
also another perfect one where Spike got. Was it Taker who? I forgot who was it to him, and he just hit his head.
Oh
on
no,
the
that
edge
was
of the table.
it. Wasn't Taker. It was a tag team. They both. I forgot which tag team it was, but yeah,
Was that Rhino? Was
No,
that
no,
that
no,
wasn't
no.
that wasn't
This was-
TLC where he got
No,
No, it was almost like I think it was on even just a SmackDown or something.
Yeah.
It was like Ruthless Aggression era too.
Yeah.
Remember him grabbing his head instantly
the
from
table
the pain.
didn't break. He just hit.
Wait, was it APA?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Might have
it
been APA. Yeah, might have been APA.
That checks
with
out timing
Spike.
wise. Yeah,
Right, yeah.
The fact that dude's still walking is a miracle.
Yeah.
But no, back to the Chelsea Green bump. She's hit them smack dab in the middle from however many feet up.
Up there.
had to readjust in midair. By
Yeah.
the way, like
Turn and
basically,
pivot her
like
body.
in that moment, you make it super unbelievable if she really looked back and then kind of jumped towards it. No, she took the bump, and as she was taking the bump, was able to adjust to make sure she hit smack dab in the middle. The different angles of that bump that we've seen from the crowd and everything are amazing. I think that this took Chelsea Green to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
I know people really are. She's a fan favorite. Obviously, she's a great personality. She's she has it all, but that brought a different level of legitimacy, I think, to the average person, where they're now like, oh shit, Chelsea Green's a badass.
Yeah.
And now it would be nice to see some gold on her eventually.
Yeah. Let's bring back the Divas title that she wants to do,
Ooh.
apparently.
Well, we might be getting a mid-card title for the
that's
women.
what I was- that's what I was thinking,
I was
like,
kidding because she said she was going to cash in, win the WWE Women's title, and she was going to
Divas-
rebrand it the Divas,
Divas title with the
So that's what I'm
butterfly.
calling for.
Exactly perfect.
Right.
No, she is the perfect version of we need a mid card for
Yeah.
the women.
Yeah.
Like I think of what they just put on Kalani Jordan, North American title for the women's. Like you need that same caliber level of title in the main roster, and Chelsea Green is the absolute perfect person
Oh,
to put it
yeah.
on.
If they do debut mid-card women's title, she needs to be the first U.S. women's champion. Or
Yeah.
Intercontinental,
she
whichever
would
one
set
goes
that
on whatever
bar.
brand.
And I think again, back to the spot, it's like usually the knock on Chelsea Green, at least on Twitter and social media, she doesn't work. She can't work. She's
Right.
not this. She's not that. And in order to take that bump, there's so much, to your point, there's so many calculations, different things you need to go through, whether it's going out and actually taking the bump and seeing what it's like. I don't think enough can be said about how good you have to be as a worker and as a wrestler and have just ring awareness and know where you are in the air, know where you are in the ring, know how much space you need to cover and to be able to go through at the perfect angle. I think now a lot of folks, right or wrong, rightfully so, are now going to respect her a lot more just because of that one bump.
Yeah. And I think, Mike, to your point about how this is elevating her even more, let's look at this. This was, in my opinion, first of all, this was the best women's Money in the Bank ladder match of all time.
sure.
Hands down.
This was a top 5 overall Money in the Bank ladder
Agreed.
match of all time. And the thing everybody, and rightfully so, is talking about is that bump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's what people are talking about from the match.
Yeah,
Well,
like
yeah.
Tiffy won. We all knew it was Tiffy time.
Yeah.
Everyone we were all across the board on it. I think everyone was knowing
Yeah.
Tiffy was
It
going
was
to get
Tiffy
it.
time.
And
Right.
we're still talking about Chelsea Green
Exactly.
more so.
Yeah.
Like she, even from the very beginning, like the spot at the very beginning where
Yeah.
she couldn't go up the ladder
When
she
she's
was afraid of
jumping
heights.
to try to
like
get it,
that was so
good.
alone
Yeah.
would just made it what it was.
Absolutely.
And I think from that very moment, you knew that okay, we were putting the belt on Tiffy because it's Tiffy time, but this is also Chelsea's moment.
Yes. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was her star-making performance. This was her Shawn Michaels WrestleMania 10.
Yeah.
He
Like-
loses that match, but he's what everybody talks about.
Exactly. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, with the exception of obviously actually getting the briefcase, it's
Right.
what her husband did a
Exactly,
few years
yeah.
ago. So
Right.
Well, he didn't
Except
even get a briefcase. His was the
It was
Intercontinental
his
title.
Intercontinental belt.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
the title.
But
But,
yeah,
yeah,
same-
without
right,
that, but
exactly.
similar moments.
Lost it the next night.
Yeah.
Bullshit. I was there for that Mania. It was a great pop for one night.
It was a
Lost
great
it the
pop.
next night. But yeah, just all the other women in the match were amazing too.
Yeah.
There was some other greats. The tombstone through the ladder bump.
Yeah.
Like what? That was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just again like you can point back to so many spots in that match. The timing was phenomenal by all the women in there, and at the end of the day, it is Tiffy time, and I think that we all agree. We knew this was coming. She is the next one up. She is fantastic. She, I think, is maybe a year ahead of Braun Breaker on the male side, where like she is now going to be the one that's next up for the women's title, whereas Braun is going to get that IC title first, and then next year or the year after, within the next year or so, be one of the heavyweight contenders.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Tiffy cash it in at SummerSlam and become women's champion at SummerSlam.
That'd be sick. I mean,
I wouldn't be mad at it.
No.
I wouldn't be mad at it
question
either.
the timing either.
Should also then go back to my conspiracy theory that Triple H hates the briefcase and tries to get it off people as quick as possible.
Yeah,
There you go, yeah.
I did hear the other day that usually the women cash it in a lot quicker than
Yeah,
the
the
men.
longest one is Io Sky last year, who cashed it in at SummerSlam last year.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's the longest holder of the briefcase
It would make
of all
a lot
time,
of
I
sense
think.
for them to do it, but again, like that pop would be fucking
Oh, yeah, it'd
amazing.
be huge.
So everybody, I
Yeah.
think everybody would be down for that.
Yeah, she was great. It was awesome match. A
Also-
lot of fun.
And I'm pretty sure I'm not just saying this because I'm Irish. Lyra Valkyria is a star.
She's so good.
Yeah,
so
I
good.
like her a lot. I think she is awesome, and she is somebody that again, that next crop of women's superstars
Like her
that
and
is like
Mello.
gonna,
I think
that's
her
gonna
and
be
Mello
like,
are on the same trajectory right now.
it's gonna be like the next Becky, like
Yep.
that wave,
Yeah.
Tiffy, Chelsea,
The Revolution.
yeah,
This is
Lyra,
their next Revolution.
Valkyria, and then even some of the ladies we're gonna talk about shortly that are down in NXT.
Like, I kind of now want not soon, like even hold off till Mania. I kind of want to see Lyra be the one to take the title off of Liv.
Too soon, I think. But
not now.
Yeah.
Not now, but like you have her win the Elimination Chamber or something and she gets the title shot at Mania.
Over Rhea.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
Yeah,
Lyra's dope. I like Lyra a lot.
And I think she's such a good worker. Naturally, as she gets more opportunities, she's going to get better on the mic.
Right.
Her ring, her charisma and her IQ is going to get better, but she can work her ass off. She is a professional wrestler in every sense of the word. And I also feel like I don't know if this is coining a phrase or not. So obviously we have the women's evolution. Is this now like the women's renaissance?
Could be. We're in the Renaissance era.
We're in the Renaissance era.
We're in the Renaissance era.
Renaissance, this new era. And I'm thinking more the NXT crop of the Kaylani, the Sol Rukas, the Jada Parkers, like everyone we're about to talk about, the Lola Vices, the Roxanne, like that, I think. And it's tough to, obviously you can't lump Tiffy Time in with them, but in a year and a half, if all of them are up,
she's kind of like a rookie.
It's the same kind of vibe.
She was NXT Women's Champion not that long ago.
It wasn't that long.
So
like I think this is a crop, and this crop is going to be what the last crop is 4 women. This is going to be like fucking 10.
Yeah. Well, now in I mean what they're doing in NXT, and let's get to it. Heatwave, just an awesome PLE, and just a treat.
Yeah.
After Money in the Bank, which I think overall was a pretty solid PLE. The main event, main event didn't do much for me.
I'll be honest. I have one big complaint about Money in the Bank, and that was why is a 5-match card going almost 3.5 hours long?
Yeah,
it was.
You have 2 ladder matches though.
I get that, but at
6
the same
superstars
time,
each.
It was literally. First of all, I even looked this up.
They took a huge break before the main event.
That's my other thing. It was literally
15
15 minutes between the end of the women's Money in the Bank match and the entrances for the main event. Yep. We don't need 15 minutes in between that.
There's a lot of filler. I think they realized like, whoa, we're ahead of schedule here.
I guess.
Also, why did it start at 7 o'clock? I guess it was a good thing at the end of the day.
I wasn't mad. At that point. But I didn't realize it until day of. I was like,
same. Me too.
I thought pre-show was 7.
I was like making dinner, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I turned it on at 7 to watch the pre-show, and I was like, oh shit, it's the main card.
And the men's Money in the Bank was the first match. Which I think kind of threw us off too.
But also, like, only the main event. I looked this up. The main event was the only match to go over 20 minutes. So it's not even like these matches were like getting insane amounts of time.
Which is crazy because there's no way in hell that main event should have got more time than any of the other 4 matches. Period.
No.
Although it was a lot of fun.
It was.
It was fun, but I don't know. I wasn't. It was okay.
I stand by what I put in our group text. You're not going to go 2 PLEs in a row and not have Cody be in the main event.
That's a good point. Yeah, you ended up being correct.
I just and the Bloodline needed to go over.
Exactly.
They had to go over.
Especially since it's definitely going to be Cody solo at SummerSlam.
Yeah. It's definitely. I mean, it was pretty much known that Bloodline was not going to lose that match.
Right.
Best part about that too, before we get to Heatwave, was the post game interview. Like it was fucking NBA on TNT.
That was hilarious.
That was cool as fuck. The memes from it with Charles Barkley have been hilarious. That was cool as hell to do that. Obviously, it was easy with Solo because he said 2 words.
Right. Yeah.
And so it was perfect. But I thought that was cool as fuck to like lead right into that again, as we've talked about many times over, becoming more of a sporting event.
I like that it adds to the realism. Of it. The same thing that I like that they do it. I just wish they'd flip the order of it of when they show the people entering. Like I really like that.
Which people?
Like at the start of the PLE where they show all the people that's coming into the building. I like that. I just wish they would do it after the opening package. Like a PLE should always open with the opening video package. It shouldn't be here's all these people entering.
And I feel like traditionally it's usually was like that, where you get the package right, and then show them walking in with where they are up top on the screen.
Like since at least Mania on, everyone has been them first.
I'm thinking more like years back, like what we grew up on.
You would always start with the video package.
Exactly.
It always hyped me the fuck up,
and
too.
then
I
you
would
see
always
the outside,
so
you see the screen of where we are, what city we're in, then usually get that blimp shot of inside the arena.
Yeah. Go back to doing it that way.
Yeah.
Give me the video package first, and then show me everybody entering the building.
Can I get blimps back in arenas? Also, we fucking do stadiums now. We should have blimps every time.
How many blimps exist?
I mean, they technically have been doing drone shots.
Yeah, but fuck that. I want Todd Pettengill.
I agree.
I want Todd Pettengill in a blimp.
I agree.
I need that.
Well, was he ever in it?
I don't know.
Because I think they were the small remote controlled ones.
There's only 25 blimps left in the world.
Goodyear's got to have 20 of them.
If not all of them.
Who else has a blimp? Do they just have them all?
Yeah, I mean, Elon Musk probably got a fucking
I remember
blimp.
reading that, and I don't know why I would ever think there would be more than 25 blimps. Like, I don't know. For some reason, I didn't know there was a blimp shortage. But there's only 25 blimps that exist.
Well, how much does a blimp cost? Because I would think, like, if I'm a billionaire, I'd probably have one just to recreate the fucking restore the feeling of seeing one as a kid.
Right?
Like, they can't be that expensive.
I don't know, but like,
I don't know. They can't be that cheap.
Well, no, but like relatively to like having your own private plane or something. something.
Yeah, but you're not traveling in a blimp.
No, but no,
Although,
it's totally
you guys
just
want-
for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
And
Do
to
you guys
get
want to see like we can maybe like book a flight on a blimp?
On a blimp?
next
Like I'm
pod's on a
fucking
blimp.
down.
We'll
Hope-
catch
hope-
like the next PLE in like
hopefully it-
Brooklyn, and
hopefully
we'll
it
take a
doesn't-
blimp
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't go down like the Hindenburg.
Yeah, we
which-
don't want the
which
Hindenburg.
led
We probably got to
to-
leave a week ahead of time.
Wait,
too,
yeah.
right?
Record a pod on a blimp?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
You putting that on the bucket list?
Let's do it.
It's either going to end up great or like the people who wanted to go see the Titanic.
Right.
One of the
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
One or the two.
That's
I'll
valid.
take the 50-50 odds.
We would have to spend a lot of time talking about the band Led Zeppelin because that's how they got their name is from the Hindenburg.
Oh.
Is it really?
Yeah, because they recorded a demo for some recording artist, and he said this type of music's going to go down faster than a Led Zeppelin.
Oh,
and they're
shit.
like, that's a fucking great name for a
Wow.
band.
Damn.
Holy shit.
That's interesting
And then he
fact.
was wrong,
Fun fact.
Everything is pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Right.
You just
Exactly.
learned something new today.
You're welcome.
Holy shit.
Shout out to Led Zeppelin, man. That's a weird ass
I
way to
don't know
get
how
in.
loans work, but that's in my head.
Exactly, yeah. Don't ask, not a financial advisor.
No.
Don't,
Don't
ask
ask-
what episode this
Don't ask me real life shit, but you want some random pop culture knowledge?
Yeah.
I'm the guy to come to.
Knows a few
believer
things about
of-
blimps.
Know a little about a lot as opposed to knowing a lot about a little. That's me.
Okay.
That's me.
I
I'd rather
know-
know a little about a lot.
What if you don't know shit
I don't
about
know.
shit?
I
Like
know
me,
a
you
lot
know?
about
shit about
unimportant
fuck, Marty.
things.
Yeah.
I can tell you, what movie won the Oscar in 2005. It was Crash.
Yeah, shit like that is way more important. Like,
Yeah,
who was
but-
through the last no hitter for the A's? Like those are the types of things I want to talk about.
Right. But I can't tell you what 2.9 APR financing means.
Yeah. No.
Fuck do
Yeah.
I know?
I used to be in banking, and I don't even know, to be honest. So that should tell you all you need to know about your local bankers.
At least
But
you're not.
also,
At least you're not
as
in
I've
banking
just-
anymore.
Yeah, no, I haven't been for a long time.
But also, as I've unfortunately just done to this podcast, Money in the Bank was a bit too long.
Yeah,
Like the Cena promo, as much as he deserves that promo,
Yeah.
do that.
Oh my god,
Do
I
that
know.
on Raw in
Forgot that
fucking
even happened.
Boston. You had Raw in Boston, Massachusetts. You know, his
Very
home
nice day.
fucking town. Why are you not doing that there? Why
Also-
are you wasting 20 minutes of PLE time
Listen,
for
shout
John
out,
Cena?
shout out to
coming
John
out
With all
Cena.
respect
Yeah.
to John Cena, you deserve
That's
the promo
true. That
time,
would have
but
hit
on
him
Raw.
coming out in a Celtics jersey
That's
with the
what I'm
jorts.
saying.
Oh my god, that would have hit.
No, I
would've-
think. Yeah, no, Boston would have been the best place to do it, but it's okay to do it on a PLE, especially a big one. And also, I love that he's giving himself like the David Ortiz,
Yeah.
Mariano
Yeah.
Rivera, like farewell tour. Like, yeah, by the way, I'll be here all next year. But
Shout out
I'm
to
just-
I'm
Brian
out.
Danielson laid a really good blueprint.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I just find it weird that he's not going to retire at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like he said, that's not going to be his last match. It's just going to be his last WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
calendar,
don't-
basic calendar year of 2025
Right.
is what we're gonna get from him.
Yeah, I
So,
mean,
Like that's weird
gonna
though.
be some
Like
good
it's
stuff.
Wrestle fucking Mania. If that's where you have your last match, why would you not?
well, yeah, no, it's true. You would think
Yeah.
that that's where they would
Right.
go out. What do you guys make of this?
You could also put him in the hall that same
Right,
weekend
exactly,
if you
yeah.
wanted to. You don't gotta wait. on
What
the
do you
goat.
guys make of this idea going around that he should win his 17th title,
If it's a short reign, I'm cool with it.
Yep.
just to give him the
Yeah.
Sign me up.
I mean, hell, his 16th title was 2 weeks.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sign me the fuck up.
He beats AJ at Royal Rumble 2017. He loses it at Elimination Chamber
Yeah.
2 weeks later.
If anyone is deserving of that moniker of being
Yeah.
able to stand alone at the top of that list, it's John Cena.
That's a good
Especially-
point. That's a good point you just brought up, Flanagan, because why did he specify Elimination Chamber as if that's like a big match like that people
Right.
remember John Cena from?
Right.
Or like even considered a main PLE of the year. Why would he say Elimination Chamber? Is it because there's 6 men, so it's an easy way to take the title off somebody?
Right.
Yeah.
And you have 2 world titles now, so you could easily
Oh,
put one of them on.
oh,
you could easily put the world
absolutely.
heavyweight title on
Oh,
John
I
Cena.
can't wait for those Reddit threads of like,
Oh,
Look
yeah.
at it now.
it's
like
not
if,
the proper lineage, so technically it's not his 17th.
say
Right.
he was like ready to hang it up at SummerSlam, you could 100% be like, yeah, we're gonna take it off Priest and give it to him. Who's
Right.
gonna really complain about that
Exactly.
after a couple days or so? Yeah, I'm all for it. Like this isn't a nepotism thing, but it feels similar. We were talking about it with like Bronny James and LeBron, which I'm all for that nepotism.
Boo.
But
Boo.
in the same way
Bomb.
for this, it's like. Just give it to him. I don't give a fuck
Right.
what people
Like-
think, how they feel. If anyone's deserving of it, it's John Cena. Too bad. Cry me a river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, you could easily just give it to him for a fucking week.
Yeah.
You can give it to him for a day, have him win it on a PLE and lose it on the next night's Raw.
He can
Like,
drop it out.
nobody-
He can drop it on the Today Show the next fucking day.
Like nobody's. You could have him win it at Money in the Bank and have whoever won the briefcase cash in and beat him that same night. Nobody's gonna care. They just want to see it for the 17th.
Yeah.
They just want to see him past Flair.
Just that pop.
Exactly.
And also, Flair's not.
He's not what he was.
Flair's also not a WWE guy through
Yeah,
and through.
and that's why like there's no real like
So-
they don't have to have that same loyalty to him. If there's anyone to give it to, it's who a lot of people. I know Michael Cole says it every time there. A lot of people really do think he's the GOAT.
Right.
Yeah.
And whether you think he's the best in ring performer or the best on the mic or whatever, when you put the total package together, he's a fucking all star.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to argue he's not the best WWE guy of all time.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like again,
no,
he may not be the best in ring.
Yeah,
for
he might not
sure.
be the best
most
at any
WWE
one thing,
there ever has
other
been.
than fucking Make a Wishes. He's clearly number one.
hell
there.
yeah.
So like again, you give it to him.
No, he's
Does like 6 of those a day somehow.
Yeah. So Cena retired too. That I completely forgot that happened in Money in the Bank. And I mean, shout out to him. Listen, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I missed a lot of Cena's career. That was my hiatus. But I do understand his importance to WWE, his longevity, the different classic like rivalries that he's had over the years. And a lot of people say one of his best matches was Money in the Bank against CM Punk 2011. And so I guess it's kind of cool that CM Punk ended up being a big part of Money in the Bank this year, and he announced his retirement.
There's a lot of people that want that to be his last match, him and Punk.
A lot of people say Randy Orton too.
Picture the two of them went viral.
I personally want it to be what I actually think is his best WWE match, or his best match of all time that I just mentioned, AJ Styles. I think him and AJ Styles at the 2017 Royal Rumble, that's the best John Cena match of all time.
And you can totally do that because at this point in the career, AJ can still carry that match as much as needed to.
Yeah,
definitely. And Cena can still go.
Yeah,
I mean, he can still do the damn thing. He'll be able to. He'll have a nice retirement tour.
But they should have put that promo on Raw.
Yeah,
I'm very much this is just my personal opinion. I hate in-ring promos on pay-per-views or PLEs. Like, that's for matches. Promos are for the weekly shows. PLEs are for matches. That's where you blow off feuds. That's not where you have somebody cut an in-ring promo.
That's fair. It's a fair point there. So yeah, Money in the Bank. Braun also did not win, which we kind of predicted, but
I was very surprised he lost clean though.
Yeah, that
like
was
there was no one
Mm-hmm.
haluva kick as well too.
Yeah, but that should go to show you kind of where they think he's at, and I think that's a good thing. I think it's good to kind of to make him a threat, but not like this unbeatable beast where you need to already before he's ever won a title have to hit him with multiple finishers to pin him. I like that they did that,
and I think it also fits his character arc of he can go home and be like, okay, I'm gonna come back and go scorched earth.
Right.
Like, I think it's like one of those things where you've been on top of the world every single week. You're finishing standing on top of the announce table because you killed somebody.
Right.
Now you get a little bit of a knockback and you come back and say, okay, like the gloves are off. I'm gonna kill everybody.
To put on that AC real quick.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a mid pod AC break. Well, just turn on. There you go. I had the AC running in here before, and we walked in. It was nice and cool.
It was beautiful.
And now it's not. It's hot as fuck.
Am I noticeably sweaty? Like I can feel it, but like, is it?
No, you're not. I don't think anybody. I just feel it, and I know that in another 30 minutes I will be.
I mean, I sweat in air conditioning, so like, nothing will.
I sweat when I'm hungry.
I'm always hungry. So.
Same, but
my only thing with Braun though is I know they tried Monday, and we'll get into it, but like, it's kind of hard to when you lose clean like that and decisively like that. It's kind of hard to then instantly give him a rematch.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting a rematch. They addressed that on Raw.
They're trying to give it to him though.
No,
I mean the spear on Sammy was clear to be like, all right, I don't have a reason to, so I'm going to beat the shit out of you, so you force it now.
Yeah, I don't
That's how it came across to me.
No, I think the point, how I interpreted that was being like, fuck you. It sucks. I know that now I have to go back to the bottom, but I'm letting you know that I'm coming back. That's the vibe I got. Because then Ilya Dragunov kind of getting involved. Sheamus is still lurking. I think that you'll probably see something between them and Sammy.
I just feel like there's a good chance they're going to make it a fatal four-way of.
I know. That's actually where I was going with that. I think that
Braun, Ilya, Sammy, Sheamus.
Which I think that's the way that match ended. That now feels too soon to just put Braun back in a title match.
True, but we'll see what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, they could easily make me eat my words, and I hope they do.
And Sammy could also request it. Sammy could be like, "Well, I want my payback."
That's what I feel like they're leaning into now, and
totally plausible for Sammy. That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
And I think if there's anyone you're going to kind of like bend the rules for, it's probably Braun Breaker, the way they built him. So,
who was a beast? Who had another great match?
God.
Him and Ilya is just
getting better on the mic.
He's so good. He has quickly become one of my favorites. Although I did see he was at like the Big 12 press conference or whatever. Did you guys see that?
Media Day? Big 12 Media Day?
Big 12 Media Day. He was there with, there was another superstar there with Big E. Big E was there.
Okay.
And for some reason, Braun was walking around with the WWE Championship, which I found to be just weird.
Oh, that all gold one.
But there was no Big 12 shit on it. It was just the all gold.
I saw a picture of that. Yeah, I thought it was a little weird too.
I didn't see that, but that is weird.
Like he was taking pictures with it and shit.
That's weird.
Yeah, I did. I saw that.
I don't know why. That kind of threw me off because I'm like...
Yeah, because he's not a Big 12 guy.
Like if a fan is holding one with you, you know it's a fan.
Big E went to Iowa. Yeah, I don't know.
Nah, fuck that. TNA, he goes.
Yeah.
Fuck it. He's out.
Well,
I mean, there's the room at TNA. A couple TNA folks might have made their way over. We'll get to that.
well, I mean, the door seems to be open
Oh
because
shit! The
Yeah,
fucking
it's
that sliding door is
Yeah.
off the tracks. That thing is fucking wide open.
So far, one way. I do
Yeah.
kind of want to see it start going back
Yeah,
the
it
other
would
way,
be
but so
nice.
far it's a one-way door. But that one-way door is very wide open at the moment.
Yeah.
Drew being, I saw this, I don't know where I saw it. I'm sorry for whoever's idea this was, or if maybe this was one of you guys, I don't know. Was the idea of during Drew's suspension, he just showed up at TNA?
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
And just like wreaked havoc over there and was like that he used their platform to get at CM Punk type of thing. That would have been sick.
Well, the thing is, they are giving people to other companies. AJ Styles this Saturday is going to be wrestling for Pro Wrestling Noah.
Yeah. Him
so he's going to
and
be in
also,
Japan.
What, Io or
Io Sky's
Io
going
as
to
well.
be in Japan. I think she's a different
Yeah, it's
company, but
different
she's in
promotion,
Japan.
different promotion,
Shayna Baszler is going to be doing Bloodsport again in a couple weeks.
Yep.
So, like, they are giving people out, but maybe give somebody to TNA.
Well, you figure
They're giving you all their top people.
Yeah.
Give them
Well, there
something.
was a few folks who showed up.
There
Not
was.
big names, but New Catch
That's my
Republic
thing, right.
did show up.
And, well, now-
and have a
No, it
run
was,
in.
No Quarter
yeah,
Catch
no
Crew.
Quarter Catch Crew. Those two fuck me
Right.
up. I can't.
I-
No Quarter
I
Catch
get it.
Crew.
They're
Yeah,
the
those
same
two
name,
fuck
basically.
me up, and a lot of the same people.
Yeah.
So they had to run in on TNA on the Rascals. Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz, who we'll see as we saw on TNA, came back, had the fucking best
That was
reuniting
so awesome.
with Wesley ever. That was awesome. Never thought I'd see Zachary Wentz on WWE television again.
No.
So that was pretty fucking dope.
Are
And also
we-
it's perfect for Wesley to go there.
Yeah.
So that we're going to talk Heatwave
Heatwave.
now.
Yeah,
Heatwave. No, Heatwave was fun. PLE Sunday nights. I like NXT. They need to do that every time. I think if you give me an NXT PLE on a Sunday night, and the WWE PLE on a Saturday, I think that's a nice weekend right there.
Yeah. I mean, that used to be how they do it. It was just the other way around.
Right, exactly. NXT used to be on Saturday, but I like it the other way around because, I still prefer as it stands the main card. But
I think also usually the NXT cards usually are a little shorter. They usually don't run as long. So
This
I think
one was
I
only 2.5
prefer that.
hours.
I prefer that one. Yeah, that thing was over fucking early as shit.
Yeah.
I loved it on a
It was over by like 9:30.
Yeah, it was great.
Give me that all day.
And just quality-wise, I felt it... I thought quality Money in the Bank was good. It just went too long. I thought Heatwave blew it out of the water.
I think
Heatwave was
Heatwave
incredible.
is a top 5 today. This is, you can recency bias, prison of the moment, a top 5 absolutely cemented NXT PLE.
Yeah.
All time.
I'd have to go back.
Obviously, some of those takeovers were amazing, and that's why I can't say it's one. I've saw some people say one or top 3. Easily top 5 without even having to think about it.
Yeah. I would have to go back and rewatch some, but like I would, even if I disagreed, I wouldn't argue.
Yeah, like the
I can
quality,
see where
and
you're
I think
coming
for me
from.
it's the quality throughout the card.
Yeah.
Like usually you'll get to one where maybe the co-main and the main and blow things out the water, right? Or you have a surpriser in the opener and you have that main event. But this was consistently throughout the entire card.
the Obafemi and Wesley match was fun. I
So
mean,
good.
the like throwing the pizza pie up in the sky and just
Oh
let him
my
fall
God.
is just absolutely insane. Dude is a ridiculous beast.
I'm gonna be honest. Obafemi might be WWE's MVP so far this year.
Dude, he
He
is.
is killing it.
He is
I'm on that
ridiculous.
train.
Yeah.
He is
And
ridiculous.
there's nothing like him.
Huge
No.
fan of his.
Nothing like him.
Yeah.
Like
He's
the
so
character
unique.
is great and authentic.
Yeah.
He sounds good. Again, getting better on the mic
Yeah.
every time I hear him. He even got better throughout that match on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like Wesley was perfect for him and pushed him, and like you mentioned, that
I
dichotomy
like
of him
Wesley
just
too,
throwing
yeah.
him
Oh,
around
Wesley's
and tossing
great.
him around was perfect. Obafemi is a fucking star. I don't think I saw a tweet that was like, "Get Obafemi and Moose," and I'm like, sign
Hell
me up for that
yes.
fucking match. Give
Hell
me that
yeah.
all day.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Now, there are a lot of contenders, but I personally think Obafemi versus Wesley might have been match of the weekend.
The whole weekend, huh?
Like I thought it was incredible.
It was so good.
I mean, it was definitely as
Like I said,
far
there
as
are a
like
lot of contenders for
singles
it, but-
matches. I think the one I was most entertained by was the women's Money in the Bank.
That's fair.
I think
Yeah.
that was my
That's
most
also
like.
got a very strong case for
Yeah.
match of the
And
weekend.
you could even say, Matt, the women on that, Kalani
Yeah.
and Soul. Like
Kalani and Soul.
Roxanne and Lola was amazing, but Kalani and Soul, oh my god.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, you look at like Soul. She's a star. In the
She's-
making.
yeah.
She's gonna be like she's
Different,
a
too.
super freakish athlete.
Yeah.
Like I was mesmerized, if
Yep.
I'm being quite honest.
Yep.
And she is gonna. She's gonna.
I think arguably has one of the best finishers in all of wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Her
Yes.
finisher is so unique.
Yes, I agree with that. I am a little biased 'cause I love me some Lola Vice.
Oh, who doesn't?
Come on.
I get it.
I love Lola Vice in MMA on Instagram and now
just-
in WWE.
It's just. I don't know.
And-
I'm,
but-
I'm
but
gonna,
also,
I'm gonna
like-
revert. I digress. I'm just leave it at that.
She's awesome. She's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Again, similar. She got better in that match than she
Yeah.
was better at the end of that match than she was at the beginning. But her last few weeks to a month since they positioned her in this with Roxanne, she's been punching up.
Yeah.
And she has punched up enough to the point where she's now eye to eye with fucking, well, they're both midgets, kind of. So,
Yeah,
but they are
they're
eye to
little.
eye in terms of where they are on the totem pole. They are amazing. Lola Vice,
Yeah.
the promo she cut leading up to this has been the most vulnerable we've ever seen.
Right.
She was literally crying her eyes out and had to compose herself to finish the
Yeah.
promo. She showed the fuck up in the match to the point where I think the fans were just as happy with her when they were giving her ovation
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
Roxanne left and the pop for Roxanne for winning.
Going into this match, I felt like these two matches, I thought like, did they do this backwards? Because you have face versus face and then heel versus heel.
Yeah.
But they both delivered
Yep.
and they were perfect. And yeah, like you said, Lola Vice's her promo still needs a little bit of work, but the amount she improved leading into this
And the emotion
program
she
was
leaned
incredible.
into. Yeah. She's I think stamped and cemented herself.
And
Like I wouldn't mind seeing her be the one who eventually beats Roxanne for the title.
I think she should. I don't think there's another woman on the NXT roster that I think
there's
should have that belt.
I think there is one who I now think is going to beat it. And
Jordan
it's
Grace.
Well, first of all, yes, I would love that.
All right,
yeah,
but I think
okay.
it's the soon to debut Stephanie Becker.
Okay. Oh.
I think she's going to be the one who takes Roxanne's
Chef Michaels.
title.
right away.
Chef
I'm gonna be completely
Michaels.
honest. I don't know anything about that person.
That
I
you're
didn't really know
gonna.
much
This
about
is
her
the one
either,
I
but-
mentioned last week. So she fought Mercedes Moné
At
for the
Forbidden
belt
Door.
at Forbidden Door.
Oh,
Their belt
okay.
versus belt. She's from Chile. I had never saw her before that. She's fucking
She's
amazing.
incredible.
She
Like-
is so fucking
Oh,
good.
so that's
man.
why I'm seeing people questioning on whether or not Mercedes Moné is a spy, like
Yeah.
like recruiting for WWE low key.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
she
people
literally
are
goes and has that
Talk about
match.
tinfoil hat.
And then
Yeah.
today was announced. Chef Michaels literally was like, "Dude,
Yeah,
it was just a tweet."
yesterday, I
He was
think.
like, "Can't wait to see you in Orlando. Let's get
Yeah.
to work." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like
Yeah.
I just said last week, I can't wait to see more of her. And I'm glad I don't have to rely on illegal streams
No,
to see
right,
more
I
of
can
her.
just- yeah.
I can just turn on fucking
go on Peacock
yeah, I
and
can
see
turn
it.
on
Yeah.
USA and Peacock, and I'm good.
Yeah, that's dope.
Soon to be CW Network and walk
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah. So.
That I might have to search for a little bit.
So yeah, I mean, just awesome. And the Kalani Jordan and Sol Ruka match should show you why it would be great to have a mid card title on the
Yes.
main
Yeah.
roster as well.
I
And
also
should make all of Kalani's naysayers shut the fuck up.
Yes.
Yeah, I love the people who talked or who are shitting on this match, but yet they're the same people that loved Ospreay Ricochet.
Yeah.
They're the same fucking
It's the
match.
sa-
Just
same
one's
thing.
females and
Same
one's
thing.
males.
Yup.
That's the
Same
IWC
fucking
for you.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally
This match
the same
was
thing.
incredible. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was so fucking good. And like you mentioned, face versus face, but they did it perfectly.
Yeah.
Like it was,
They made it work.
They sold it well throughout. The false finishes, the finish, the way everything went down, like
Yeah.
the way they hit all of their spots.
Yeah.
They didn't really miss a spot. And even like we talked about it before, there was one spot in Roxanne and Lola at the very end when Roxanne was giving her finisher pop rocks, and she tried
She
to do
kinda
4
fucked
in
it
a
up
row,
a bit.
and there was
Yeah.
a little hiccup on the fourth fucking one.
I think it was the third one, then the fourth one she
Yes.
nailed it. Yeah.
Well, no, that was the fourth
So I
one,
think
and
that
then
was
she
the
had to
fifth-
do a
she had to
fifth
do the
one
fifth
to
one.
kind of make up
Okay.
for the fourth.
I can't. It's Steiner math.
But it was perfectly. That was the only botch of the whole show. So
Yeah.
I'm certainly not going to fucking hold that against
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys felt this way or not too, but the way, because it felt like during Kalani's celebration, they were like lingering on it. But I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, it's all about to turn
I thought
heel.
she was going to turn.
And then
The way
thankfully
she was
did.
positioned in the
Yeah,
middle of the ring,
that's what I think
and
too. I'm like,
Kalani went to
oh.
the belt,
I'm
I
like,
thought
oh,
she was
shit,
going
are
to
they
try
about
to
to do a
come
heel
up and hit her
turn?
with the
Yeah,
finisher.
same.
Yep.
And then
I
thankfully
was
they
waiting
did.
for it.
I'm like, oh, thank God.
I'm glad they did it because when the reason why I think is because Soul's character, I love it. Like the surfer girl,
Yeah.
laid back, like chill. That's so awesome because when she ultimately does have a heel turn, it's going to be so fucking
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It's gonna turn people's
It's
heads.
gonna be like when Roxanne turned heel.
Yeah,
because
yes, yes.
I had when she was a face, I had a
Oh
very
my
hard
God.
time picturing
I
her as a
didn't-
heel, and she's killing it
Same.
as a heel.
But her promos are better
Yeah.
as a heel.
Now
Just
it's
her
hard to
looks.
picture her not being a heel,
no,
to
I
me.
can't-
Yeah.
I can't picture her going back. I can't at this point.
Like, she is
which
a
excites me
phenomenal
for
heel.
hopefully when Bianca turns heel.
Yeah,
Yes.
or even just for when Roxanne finally goes to the main roster.
Yeah,
We still have a lot to get to, and we are
Buckle
flying
in,
through.
folks. This
Buckle
is-
in.
Yeah. I mean, we still haven't even technically talked about Heatwave's main event yet.
That's what we're going to
Oh
do right
my
now. We're going
God.
to talk about the main event, Fatal 4-Way, Trick Williams, Ethan Spears, Ethan Page, Sean
It's a good
Spears,
wrestling name, though.
Javon Evans. Yeah, I know. I just combine them all. I thought that I love the finish of this. I love the
Yes.
finish of this. The
Booked perfectly.
unpredictability, the fact that it was kind of like, all ego kind of fell into it.
Yeah.
Chef
But
Michaels again.
He
Yeah.
came
Cooking
in and
up.
was like, he's basically called his shot from the beginning, and now you put the title. I like that they put the title on him really quick.
Same.
I think that it's perfect. I think that it was a great match. Javon Evans is going to get his time.
Yep.
He's going to
Yeah,
get
but
his
he's only
time.
20.
All right.
Yeah, Trick
Which
had a
is
nice
gross.
little run, and I love that they don't. Not every title needs like a 2-year run.
No.
No.
And the way he lost it was kind of screwy. It
was perfect.
Yeah.
So it was perfect. It was booked perfectly.
I also think it works well because I think Trick is very soon going to be on the main roster.
Yeah.
I don't think his time in NXT is much longer.
Yep, I think part of why they gave it to All Ego was one, I think they feel really confident about him carrying it, and I think the way he's debuted and the way people have rallied around him probably validated, okay, he's ready for for the belt.
Yeah.
But I think similar. I think probably if you asked them what the plans were when Trick won the belt, they would have said, okay, we're gonna have a nice 6 month to a year run. He's gonna have it, maybe a little, maybe drop it once and get it back, but he's not gonna be on the main roster soon. 100%. I think. Shit, I
would be surprised if he debuts the Monday after.
I was going to say right after SummerSlam, I could see it. He's ready. He's ready. He's fucking ready for it.
Name me a wrestler in wrestling right now more charismatic than Trick Williams.
I know. And
like,
the crowd,
so quick.
the
He's done it
like,
so quick, man.
Yeah.
And he looks so much more comfortable.
Yes,
like
definitely.
I remember a few months ago, especially when the Mello feud started, you can see there was a little bit like he had to step up his competition. Yeah. Now he's in the ring with other folks and he's kind of carrying promos or bouncing the ball around and really the floor general in the ring. Like he's ready.
And also this matchup was. Like these are 4 perfect people. 2 younger guys who maybe still need a bit of work, but then 2
older vets,
seasoned vets that can carry him through it. And Page and Spears.
And Spears was perfect. I loved similar. Like the finish was also perfect because Spears sacrificed himself, having an opportunity to get back and win the match just to screw Trick over, which again was perfect. I was hoping they were going to use more out of that. Obviously, it turned into a tag team match, but I was hoping Spears was going to hold that over his head a little more and be like, well, I need the next shot. It's got to be me because I helped you. Or we even found out there actually was a deal in place for something like that. I also think that would have helped All Ego's character as a heel too.
But I also even liked the way they're going of like, I just didn't. The way I couldn't see you. I didn't know you had the pin.
That's what they went with. But to me, I kind of would have liked if they leaned into no, it was intentional.
Also, Trick Williams' gear, holy fuck, was that incredible.
Yeah, it was sick. That was sick.
Oh yeah, like a
that's exactly what I was thinking too. It was very Harlem Heat.
And
Booker
leaned into it at first.
I think I seen him tweet about it too. Booker, I think he addressed it on Twitter.
Because he looks perfect.
Yeah,
like he looks like fucking a perfect mixture of a young Stevie Ray and Booker T. Like
hell yeah,
he would have been the 3rd member of fucking Harlem Heat.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Heatwave, great.
Awesome
PLE, awesome
Chef
PLE.
Michaels, man, keep cooking.
NXT on fire.
Keep cooking, brother.
And we got to get through.
And then, even this week, then on NXT, just real quick while we're on it, fucking Trick said his name.
Yep.
Yeah, he said his name and he appeared. Joe Hendry, first in-ring action we get to see from him, really. Well, besides the Battle Royal, which we didn't really count.
Yeah.
What they've been teasing that since Money in the Bank ended with Joe Hendry, right?
No, Heatwave did. Heatwave ended with
Heatwave. The very last.
Yeah, because I was going to say, they teased it for a few, and then on Raw, it opened.
Yeah.
With Joe Hendry. So, they teased it. So we knew it was coming, but it was still awesome.
It's so funny how that movement of his head is just like...
Oh, it's perfect.
It's like, I don't even know how to like categorize it, but it's just crazy how this dude... I mean, good for him.
It's very Zoolander.
Yeah,
it is very.
It's like just breaking that fourth wall.
It's very a lot of things, but if you're Joe Hendry, you got to be pinching yourself a little bit because it went from 0 to Joe Hendry real quick.
Yeah,
and
I was thinking of folks he reminded me of a little bit, and he was giving me like a little John Cena. Not even in like his but like the way he kind of conducted himself around the ring, the way he did, kind of his ring IQ and psychology, like his aura kind of reminded me of like not a young John Cena, but like a more polished John Cena, like a 2010s time John Cena. I'm like, wow, he's giving me that vibe of that same type of fucking working star, and also a little bit of LA Knight. I get a lot of LA Knight from Joe Hendry, actually. A lot of LA Knight.
I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know if it's what's going to happen. I want Joe Hendry to be the one to take the title off Ethan Page.
Sign me the
fuck
up. Why not?
I mean,
it's perfect.
And you could do it perfectly, too, because either this weekend or next weekend is Slammiversary.
Yeah.
And he's in the TNA title match. So I think TNA is absolutely going to put the title on him.
Yep.
Why not strike while the iron's hot?
Yeah.
And then down the line, you do a champion versus champion title for title match, and you put them both on Joe Hendry.
Moose is winning right now, right? Moose is
Moose is champ right now.
And Moose had it for a bit. Yeah. He's had some battles with Joe Hendry before, so I wouldn't be surprised if he dropped it. Yeah.
And it's also a 6-man, I think, so you could easily put it on Joe Hendry without Moose having to take the pin.
Even better.
Yeah,
hell yeah. Why not cash in on that? Like
he's the most popular non-WWE guy going right now.
Far and away. Like all you see is the Joe Hendry signs everywhere. Yeah. Everywhere you go, every show, every fucking I'll say corporation, every fucking organization.
And he shares them all on X. So if you miss them, you go find them. He'll find them. Now let's get we're talking today. We are chatting today, fellas. Raw Monday night. We talked a little bit already about CM Punk and Seth and their whole promo battle that they had there. Chad Gable, we know that now his feud has basically just become the Wyatt Sicks. Right? That's basically just like Jey Uso, he had the match. Jey Uso was like, I'm out. Like, this is on you, buddy. He pinned him real quick.
Still to make sure to get the yeet
in. He got the yeet in, and then he bounced. That was dope. But yes, the Wyatt Sicks are full on after Chad Gable, and we got another VHS tape. And this one I think was interesting because it was less about Bo and more about the family.
This one's also very interesting because unless I missed it, Nikki Cross is the only one whose face you don't actually
I was
see.
gonna
That's
bring
a good
that up.
point.
The
Yeah,
only one.
they unmasked all of them
She's
except
the
for
only
her.
one you don't actually see, which there's got to be a reason behind
Yep,
that.
I was-
which
that
I'm now
was-
very intrigued to see
I was
what
gonna
that
bring up
reason
the
is.
same point, yeah, because and I even watched it again today. There's even like a quick montage at the end where they interchange Bo's face with all of them, but they don't do that with her either.
That is weird. I didn't pick up on that. But yeah, I mean, it's basically saying like, hey, these were the forgotten people. I didn't forget them, and it kind of shows them unmasked to kind of humanize them. My take from that is like, you're going to have them in their spiritual form or whatever you want to call this with the masks and everything during promos, during bits where they're trying to make a point, like with the fog and interrupting matches and stuff like that. And then eventually they're just going to be unmasked for their in-ring work. Yeah. But I thought it was really well done again.
Or maybe even not. I think this could easily be the equivalent of like Bray Wyatt and The Fiend.
In The Fiend, right.
And The Fiend wrestled with his mask on. So they could or they could not. Like, I think either way will work.
Definitely. Yep. And then Adam Pearce opens his door, and who's sitting in his office but Bo Dallas.
That's very interesting.
So
that was so well done too. His little sly smirk at the
yes,
end just
and
before
just
the door closed.
opening enough just to see him, and then it closes. What do we think that's gonna like? What do we think that's about? I don't.
It's interesting. I think going quickly back to the promo, I think we talked about it a little bit last week. I think you brought it up, Flan and Bam, where you said you were hoping the next vignette was actually hearing from them, and I think they leaned into that a little more because I remember saying last week, like, it's clear to see why they're a group. A lot of them were in groups before, and they either were quote unquote the weak link, booked as a weak link, or just naturally that group dissolved and they were left behind and didn't have a place. And it lined up perfectly to what Bo said in terms of like they were the outcasts, the outsiders. They didn't have a home. They weren't wanted. And he had a great line in there. It was so awesome. He was like, "It's now time to free them from their captor." And I was just like, "This is fuck." Again, knocked the promo out the park again. Yeah. But the last thing I was expecting to see Bo. Especially with Chad being there and the door open, that's the last thing I expected. I didn't think they were going to give him us in like nice uplighting. Yeah,
no,
exactly.
I was
not expecting that yet at all. It threw me, and I don't know where it goes.
No.
I honestly don't know where the hell it goes.
I'll be completely honest. When Adam Pearce opened the door, I thought for sure it was gonna be Drew McIntyre. So
yeah.
I thought that's where they were going with it. And then when it was Bo, I was like, oh shit, that is a nice turn that I did not see coming.
I'm drawing a blank on what the front of the camera promo was, but there was a segment, there was an interview backstage, and in the background you could see Chad Gable having a conversation. Did you guys pick up on that?
With the Creeds?
With the Creeds.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you guys see that? He was in the background having a conversation, and they would pan the camera just enough where you could see it's happening in the background. So it's obvious that Chad Gable is
Team Gable's coming.
And I think
coming.
that's the second like kind of conversation with them.
Because I think it was last week.
A couple weeks ago, yeah.
Or 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
talking
ago.
to them too. So it's building. It's clearly happening. But yeah, no, I am extremely curious what Bo shared, what that's going to turn into storyline wise. I hardly fucking doubt he went in there, maybe, but I hardly doubt he went in there and said, "Hey, I want a one-on-one match with Chad Gable." I think there's a lot more to it than that. I don't know where it's going to go.
There's definitely some complexity to this.
It's interesting.
Very interesting, and we'll see where it goes.
I also wonder if this means we're going to start to see less of the VHS tapes.
Maybe.
Like, they're still really good, but I think they're getting to the point where like you got to wrap
and
those up soon.
that's why I was surprised to see Bo, because I'm like, show us him in that now to not so that you can't go back to VHS, but it's not gonna have the same feeling. For me. It's gonna have to be. They've been great, but it's gonna have to be even a little bit better considering I've already seen him in Living
Exactly.
Color.
Well, I think there was the first one was about Bo.
Yeah.
Second one was why
And
he's
about
doing what he's
Uncle
doing.
Howdy.
Yeah, Uncle Howdy. But the first one, yeah.
Well,
and then
the second one was kind of like why he's Uncle Howdy, basically.
right, and then the third one is now the family.
Right.
So I think now at this point, maybe
either nothing or we would now get them one by one.
Right,
I think
exactly.
that's the only two ways it can go.
I'm enjoying it though.
And
Speaking
of
still entertaining.
A certain individual who we thought might have been in this group, had they not had a baby, is now training to be back in the ring.
Yeah.
Saw that,
saw
Alexa
that.
Bliss.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Could
add her
that
to the
turn into
mix.
something? Could that ship already have sailed because Nikki Cross is there, and I think Nikki's going to do great. But could you lean into that? How could you utilize that?
Right.
That's
Well,
going to be interesting.
If she even is part of it at all. She could
Yeah,
also be a
100%.
great first feud for Nikki Cross.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, or even like I saw a picture of just her and Braun Strowman the other day. I'm like, could they have like a face faction that is going to now mirror the Wyatt Sicks?
Right. Or, since we didn't see Nikki Cross's face, are they going to fuck her over? It's actually going to be Alexa Bliss under that mask the whole time.
I would riot.
I
Imagine
don't
that.
think it's going to be that.
She just
That's
said body
me.
double.
That would be so grimy.
Right.
That would be grimy. So yeah, Wyatt Sicks in the mix. Shout out to Bo Dallas in the building.
Does that mean Ryan Cabrera replaces Dexter
No, I
Lumis?
don't want to talk about him.
No, he does. He'll do the theme song for them.
Okay.
No, he's not. He hasn't. Has he made music since 2004?
Not music
on
I've
the way
heard.
down, it's a
Definitely
banger
not.
of a song though.
Yeah, no, it was a banger.
Oh,
And when Ashley Simpson
I
was
wasn't mad at him.
recognized,
In
I saw
04, I wasn't mad at him.
Right.
I saw a picture of Ashley Simpson recently. I'm like, that's Ashley
Yeah,
Simpson.
exactly. See,
she doesn't
there
look.
you go.
She doesn't look anything.
Now go Google Jessica Simpson. She looks the same.
No, she looks
looks
the same. Yeah,
exactly
she's
the same.
dime.
Yeah.
She's a dime piece. And then I also liked.
Look, lip syncing on Saturday Night Live will do that.
That was it. That was
Yeah,
an
it
homage.
It ages
That was
you
an
real
homage,
big.
yeah.
It'll change your life. I liked the fact that Priest also acknowledged in kind of squashed the gentleman's agreement.
Yeah.
Basically saying like, when I retain against Gunther, I'll take a rematch against you.
Respect.
Which also tells me he's not going to win against
No.
Gunther. And that was just their way of saving face and being like,
Exactly.
our champion
Yeah.
isn't a chicken shit.
Speaking
That's
of
what it said
face,
to me.
this is the worst kept babyface secret ever. When the fuck is this gonna like culminate? Like it's
SummerSlam.
yeah, it's gotta happen.
Well,
It's so
when
there.
Finn cost him at SummerSlam,
and that's what's
when
gonna
it's gonna
happen. I'm already excited. I know we were gonna talk a little bit about earlier, but there was a match prediction for Bad Blood, which very much excites me.
Well, I mean, you kind of maybe saw the beginning of, well, not the beginning, but even more unraveling of the Judgment Day because MAMI is back, baby.
Yeah. You know what's great about her return is the pop. Because it wasn't even just like a pop of like, oh, fuck yeah, she's back. It was like, oh, shit's
you're
going
yeah.
down.
Yep.
It was like any sitcom where
Yeah.
the mom walks in on the kids kissing or something
Yeah,
like that.
or like
that
having
was
a
that
party
crowd.
and
Now you
smoking
fucked
a
up.
cigarette or something.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
American Pie.
Exactly.
When
Yeah.
he walked in, yeah. And
Yeah.
also the way she looked, like the character wasn't a different character, but short hair, no hair extensions,
Yeah.
Yep.
a little different makeup, which is a little more fierce. Like the way she was dressed was a little more casual, but also like I'm here for business. Like,
Yeah.
And I love that she didn't come down like full on
Yeah,
beating
she
everybody's
let it
ass.
build.
She kind of just like walked in the ring and like was like asking Dom like, what the hell's going on? And Dom, I mean, listen, Dom's been living his life between getting stretched out in the locker room and Carlito says it looks hard to me. That was a great moment.
Yeah.
And
That's cool.
yeah, that it's Carlito.
So good.
He's so good.
Talk about a
He's
renaissance.
incredible.
He's so
Love
good.
Carlito Renaissance.
I love Judgment Day Carlito. Even when they come out for the 6-man tag and he's behind them and he's just kind of like
he's
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
just like a
Yeah.
big goof. It was like when not Triple H. It was like when Kurt Angle was in the Shield that one match.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds
really
me
is
of.
kind of like that. Yeah.
It's just like he just pops up and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Something stands out
So
here.
good. I hope he has a good payoff in this whole thing.
Carlito?
Whenever it comes, I hope he gets a good payoff.
I hope he
think-
stays in
Yeah,
whatever the Judgment
whatever
Day
that
becomes.
is. Like, just I hope he doesn't think what's probably gonna happen to Tozawa now.
Right.
I hope that doesn't happen
Right.
to him. Like,
He
that's-
replaced our truth in that like silly, Judgment
Yeah.
Day wannabe member.
and he's somehow doing it better than Truth did, in my opinion.
I think so.
Yeah, because I think
Truth-
it's in a more organic.
Exactly,
Like, it's
yeah.
just more wit compared to
Sometimes-
truth
Yeah.
is truth.
Truth is
Like,
very funny, but sometimes it feels forced.
Yeah. Oh.
Where
Yeah,
like
oh,
Carlito
for
just
sure.
More
feels
often
natural.
than not.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
that's the thing with the truth thing. You know it's gonna be forced, but you're like, okay, truth.
Right.
It's a good dad joke. Whereas Carlito's just like humor and wit that
Exactly,
we can appreciate.
Yeah. But yeah, MAMI is back, and I'm Alexa Bliss. I'm not Alexa Bliss. I'm sorry. Liv
Morgan.
Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan took off. She says, "I'm out. I don't want to deal with MAMI," even though she's been taunting her
Yeah.
all this time.
I also
Got out of
love
there.
Dom trying to hug Rhea Ripley.
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Well, I
she's like-
also fucking love that we got cut off again.
Yeah, we had to go to
Another
social
week
media
again
for that
cut
one.
off. We had to go to social, man. They're trying to get these social numbers up. Clearly.
Yeah. But it was good, and now she's back, and that's it. That's your build to SummerSlam.
Priest's reaction at the monitor, which we saw on socials, was great too. He was like, "I told him."
And the
Consequences.
teases to it too. Priest picking up the phone. Where you at?
Right.
I think we all knew in that moment who he was
Yeah,
talking
of course,
about, unless
yeah.
they really wanted
the
to swerve us.
Twitter blew up in terms of "Mommy's back."
Yeah.
Everyone tonight wants that moment.
We
happen.
want MAMI. They were chanting in the main event as well. So everybody knew it was coming.
Then
But
they locked it in that locker room scene. We're like, I'll let him find out
Yeah.
on his own tonight. You're
So
like,
I
oh,
saw-
yeah, that's 100%.
There was a take I saw on Twitter where someone had mentioned that they love that Mommy's back and they were excited for the Liv and Rhea feud, but they think that now Liv being the champion, her kind of running away and not even be willing to confront Rhea makes her not look as strong as Rhea. And how can I imagine she's going to beat Rhea in a one-on-one in the middle of the ring? Does that hold any weight or any stock with you guys? Or is
No.
it like, well, I mean, what else? How else would they book her? Because it wasn't really about her. It was about Dom and Rhea.
Exactly.
last
yeah,
Right.
I think in that moment too, it's just one of those situations. Like when I used this analogy last week. It's like when a dog chases a car and it finally catches. Like, what are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
Right.
That was kind of like Liv Morgan's been baiting Rhea,
also-
saying
And as
like,
a chicken shit heel,
That's my
you're
thing.
going to run.
That's
Yeah.
my thing.
So, I mean, come on.
Liv's not being booked as this beat everybody's ass
Yeah.
champion. She's chicken shit heel.
Yeah.
Who's scared of everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
That
get
was
lucky
my
and
same
win.
thought.
Like that's her thing.
I
Yeah.
thought the same thing, and I also thought as much as Mami wants to get to her, and it's funny because everything is pro wrestling again. This is one of those things where it's like you have like a guy and his girl goes and cheats on him with someone else. Why are you mad at the other guy?
Yeah.
You should be mad at your girl,
Right.
or vice versa. If your man goes, why are you mad at the other girl? You should be mad at that person first and deal with that first and last. So like again, that's what it was. She was
Right.
more upset and frustrated with Dom because of the bullshit he was pulling in the moment. Because Dom was ready to break.
Right.
He was actually finally ready to break. So
damn.
The timing was perfect on that. What they fucked up at
For
Money
who?
in the Bank, they made up for it at
Yeah.
Raw.
yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
Dom doesn't think it was perfect.
No.
He's about to get it in.
Dom could have used another minute.
Yeah.
I mean, true, but you know what?
Minute tops.
Shit happens.
We're still wait. We're talking about Dom. All right. Oh, sorry.
Hot tag.
Yeah. So Raw.
Was
Raw
he
was
going
good.
7 times?
Few main stories we got to get to before we wrap up here. I know I put it in all
Wouldn't you?
caps.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
I know I put it in all caps. I didn't mean to, but
yeah, you really
Mike's
want,
excited about this next one,
You
folks.
really want us to talk about this one.
I don't even know why it's in this order or in all caps in bold lettering. But yeah, Sonya Deville's back. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. That's a new faction. Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler are just like the lost children always, and just
Yeah.
always find their way into
So-
like a
Yeah, they
badass
do.
faction
Yeah, they fucking
tag
do.
team.
So I really like this faction. I
Me
think they're going to
too.
do really good stuff. It's
Me
just really
too.
weird because for the whole weeks that Sonya Deville's been trying to recruit them, Shayna Baszler's just been like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
And now
don't
all
want
of a sudden
anything
they're
to do with
together.
you.
And
Yeah.
it's like, all right,
and
I'm,
it was a
I'm
setup.
into it,
Like
but
we knew it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I'm into it, but like, give me a little reasoning of why it happened.
That makes sense. But
Yeah.
I'm excited about the three of them. I think like singularly the three of them don't really move me usually. As much as I respect the hell out of Shayna Baszler, especially in NXT, she hasn't like I don't
They
get
haven't
excited
pushed
to
her
tune
right on
in,
the
and
main
they
roster.
I don't
Yeah.
think they do a good enough job. But I think the three of them collectively, I'm actually really excited.
Yeah.
I think Sonya Deville is amazing as a mouthpiece, as someone who's on the mic. I know she's had a lot of injuries, so I don't even know what her in-ring career looks
Right.
like in
Right.
general, if she even can get in there and work. So I love her in that mouthpiece antagonist. Like get out there and let the two workers in Zoe and Shayna, who Shayna's been around the block and Zoe is I think up and coming.
Yeah.
Those three intrigue me. They
Yeah.
kind of excite me.
I'm really looking forward to it. They're going to be that like smash mouth,
Yeah.
beat the shit out of you type faction.
And I also think
Like the women's division's been missing for kind of a while.
yes, and I also think that as much as I don't want it, I think Ronda Rousey's going to be back at a point. And I think
She's been
this
talking
is
more and more about
potentially-
WWE.
Potentially a way you can position it, whether she comes in and she takes over the group. I know we've already seen that, literally.
Yeah.
But I also think that there's potential star power there if they want to put her. Again, I don't want it, but I do think it's going to happen sooner rather than later.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I honestly don't know
Yeah.
with her anymore. Like
She's hard.
A lot of
can see
people don't
going
like
any
her.
way with her. She's
and she,
very hard
and
to
she
pick.
was pretty much not
kind of
happy.
done right. She wasn't happy in WWE
Yeah.
allegedly.
Yeah.
She talked
Granted,
a lot of
that
shit.
was mostly when Vince was in charge as opposed to Triple H.
Oh,
but like
yeah,
also,
she did a lot of horse
kinda-
shit. Like, I remember the stories from Becky Lynch and
Right.
She talked a lot of shit on her way out too.
Right.
That,
Yeah,
that never
yeah, she
really
did.
bodes well. But then again, you
And
never
also-
know. So
she's
did a
also
lot
kind
of
of
people.
like done everything she could do in WWE though. At the same time, like what would she?
Yeah.
She comes back. What is she gonna do?
Collect a check.
I mean,
yeah,
that's
and that,
it,
and
right.
that's what it is.
Get
And I
paid?
think especially
Right.
now with not even so much Triple H, but you think of the Endeavor guys in the UFC portion of that, like
That- they
that
definitely
checks
want
a
her
lot of
back,
boxes. I would
absolutely,
think
yeah.
they would want her there because they know she brings money in.
Right. I mean, she's a draw. I can't
Yeah.
deny that. Like she brings people in.
Last few things here. Another PLE, a new PLE back from the
Oh,
dead.
I'm
Bad
excited for
Blood
this
is going to
one,
be
man.
in ATL.
How do we feel about that promo with Metro Boomin and Cody Rhodes?
I think it's awesome. Listen, man, we are all about the hip hop connection
Yep.
and the mainstream connection. The more that WWE is in tune with this, the bigger the events get, the more that, more eyes are on the product, which we love because the more people are talking about it, which helps us.
Yeah.
So I think it's great. I think Metro Boomin being involved.
It's having a nice little renaissance right now.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be cool. And Bad Blood, we know the legacy of that PLE, that name
One of
itself,
the best ever.
is so good. So
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
I think we're definitely getting a Hell in a Cell match.
Yep.
'Cause I
Yeah.
can't think of any Bad Blood pay-per-view that
Is
didn't
it
have a
Rhea
Hell
and
in a Cell
Liv
match.
in the Hell in the Cell?
Maybe. Or even Drew and Punk.
Well, Vince and
Punk?
Stone Cold was a cage match, wasn't it?
But that wasn't Bad Blood.
That wasn't.
Oh,
That
that
was-
was
Vengeance.
Saint
Saint
Valentine's
Valentine's
Day Massacre.
Yep.
Yes.
So Bad Blood, I think there's only ever been 3 of them. There was 97 with the first Hell in a Cell,
Hell in a
Shawn
Cell.
and Taker.
Shawn and Taker.
There was 03 with Kevin Nash and Triple H. And then there's 04 with Triple H and HBK.
That
Which is
one.
Yeah.
That
it's
one
good,
was-
but it goes a bit too long. That match
Nash
is
and Triple
literally
H is-
45
We
minutes.
don't want to remember
Yeah, no,
that.
that's,
but nothing will beat that first one.
That
No,
first
first
one was
one's the best
amazing.
Hell in a Cell match
Beat
of
that
all time.
first one. Come
amazing. So that's cool. That's back. We have Joe Tessitore.
So that was the match too. So I thought Hell in a Cell, Liv, but also Damien and Finn That's when
Yeah,
we might
I
see
could
that
even
match.
see that.
That
too,
could
yeah.
be a Hell in a Cell. There's multiple that we
Oh,
can
yeah.
see in the cell, but I think we're absolutely getting a Hell. And I want a red cell. I want a
Oh
red
no,
one.
I want the
No,
silver
I
back.
don't want the red cell.
I'm kidding. I don't want the
That
red
will
one.
remind me of-
I don't like when they go to the colors.
I don't.
Fiend.
I don't
like that.
mind the taller one. Like the taller one's not bad, but definitely give me the silver cell back.
Yeah, give me a silver cell.
Which I think the last Hell in a Cell match was silver.
I think
And
it,
the
yeah,
Finn
no,
and
I think
Edge
it
at
was. I think
Mania.
they got it right. I think they got that right.
Joe Tessitore. Cool. I don't know. I always am iffy about sports guys.
So this one I
him-
think is different than Adnan Verk.
I agree.
I think Adnan Verk, I remember when they announced it, and I watched a lot of sports.
Yeah, but Kevin
so I know a lot of
Egan,
these, like Kevin,
know-
Kevin Egan's doing great shit for MLS right now.
Morrow.
But I think this is Morrow was great.
Morrow
though.
was awesome,
and I think this is going to be like.
JBL for running Morrow.
I think this
Yeah.
is going to be like Morrow because, like
Yes.
Morrow, he has
Yes.
a boxing background.
Yes, a boxing
like he
background.
has a combat sports
That's
background.
what I was
Alright.
gonna say. He's done the MMA stuff. I was joking with you guys earlier. He's done Wipeout, and you might not think, but like, what that makes perfect sense to
Yeah.
be able to go and do Wipeout, and then
Right.
be able to do wrestling for all the different
I
things
think
that go
it'll be
into it.
cool.
Why Morrow? If anyone is gonna do well on that, it's Joe Tessitore. He, like you said, he's done boxing.
Yeah.
He's really good there. He's done MMA. He's done college football. He's done everything, but he's way more charismatic. And
Yeah.
I think this is like kind of where he's been building. According to what I read, he's been a huge fan.
Yeah,
he's
that's the other
connected
thing.
and close with a lot of people in the business, and this is something he's wanted for a while. And I think people behind the scenes have wanted it for a while, and now the runway's been clear. Adnan Verk, I never understood. I didn't think it made a
No.
lot of sense. I
And I
thought
don't
they
think
just
he
threw
watched
something
the
at the
product
wall.
before
No,
either,
and
like-
you could tell he
exactly,
didn't.
yeah.
Where I think Joe Tessitore is seasoned. He's at
Yep.
that point. I think this is going to be an amazing hire. I think
com-
he's going to crush it. And I also am so glad. I know I brought this up here. Wade Barrett and Corey Graves, they're both amazing. I don't like them together. Corey Graves shouldn't be your lead, more babyface guy. He's more as the color guy.
he's
he needs
this
to be
era's
your
Jesse
heel.
Ventura.
Yes, exactly. When fucking McAfee was gone, I love that he filled in with Cole because they're magic because
Yeah.
it's your perfect heel babyface commentary team. Corey Graves reminds me he's fucking so much of a young Bobby Heenan on
Yeah.
that trajectory. He needs to be with a face play-by-play guy so he can just do his color.
The only thing I don't like a little bit, and like I'll get used to it. It's fine. I'm not a huge fan of the 3-man boots. Like I like it better when it's just two people.
I would personally.
But
I'd move Wade. I would move Wade.
I would too.
I
Put it
would
back on
move Wade.
NXT.
I'd put him. I was gonna say put him on NXT. Sorry, Booker, I love you, but you got 80 jobs. You don't need to be on NXT. Him and
Also-
Vic Joseph would be money.
Yeah,
on NXT.
they were before. Like
Yep.
they did it together before, and
Money.
they were incredible. Put Wade back there, and it'll
Yep.
be great.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's cool. I think that it's nice that they shake it up. I think Michael Cole's having the time of his life right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I think he is doing his best work right now. I mean, even this past week on Raw, laughing when
Oh, yeah.
Pat said he was a brick shithouse, and he's like, there was other ways he could have said that. Like just even addressing it. I think it's just he's so loose and having so
He
much
also
fun.
cursed on Money in the Bank.
Yeah, he
Yes, he
did.
did.
Three
He
times.
He literally
He
said
did.
"Holy shit" when CM Punk showed up.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. He that was great, but
Yeah.
that was a PLE, so it's probably why I felt like he could get away with
But
it.
I'm just saying, like in the Vince era, even on a
Yeah,
pay per view,
yep.
he never would have cursed.
Yeah.
No.
He would have
Yeah.
said like the most
No, you can
G-rated
tell
thing
he's
of all
having
time.
so much
Yeah.
fun, man.
I remember Corey Graves said shit once during a Raw.
Yeah, he
maybe.
did.
Yeah, it was a Braun Strowman. It was like a
They
Braun
went,
Strowman
they
spot.
went through the entrance thing, like that big
Yes, that's
screen
right,
of the
that's right,
entrance,
yeah.
and Corey Graves said "Holy shit."
Holy shit! Yeah, I remember that. That was like a
and
random.
you can tell like Vince was forcing that. Like
Yeah.
Vince definitely wanted him to say
It was
that.
around the time that Vince said "fuck you" or something on,
Right.
on
Well, it
Raw.
was- I think what happened was it was like around the early Dynamites, and they were cursing like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Vince was like, "Oh, we're gonna do it too."
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
ratchet it up. Well,
Right.
only 5.5 more months, and we're not gonna have to worry about that.
No,
on
we're
Raw,
gonna-
so.
Yeah, shout out to Netflix.
Pat McAfee's absolutely dropping an
Out the
F-bomb
gate.
on
Oh,
Netflix.
100%.
Out the gate.
Like,
Right out the
yeah,
gate.
opening Raw, he's gonna be like, "Welcome to whatever town they're in." He'll be like, "Welcome to fucking wherever."
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. I can't wait for that.
that'll
For
be
all the
good.
products we're gonna get from that. WrestleMania doc, we finally got it.
So I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I still haven't watched it.
You
yet.
still haven't watched it.
I
All
haven't
right, we don't
watched
have
it
to
yet.
deep dive into
Because
it.
Oh, I'm ready
I
to
don't-
deep
you guys
dive.
can deep dive all you want. I don't because this is just my personal opinion. I know I'm in the vast minority on this. It's too late for me. Like
Yeah.
I've moved past Mania. I don't.
No,
I'll
I mean,
come back to this year's Mania when we come up on 41. I'll probably be like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna deep dive into this now."
Spoiler.
But like, I don't care. at the moment.
Spoiler. You don't need to watch it.
I feel like
yeah.
I don't either.
It was
yeah.
disappointing.
You don't need to watch
It was
it.
disappointing, and like it just
Unless
became.
you just want The Rock blowing himself
Yeah,
for like 90
I've seen
minutes.
the memes, and I've seen the clip because they've also shown like 6 different clips in between the matches of the PLE.
I know that
I'm
was
like,
annoying too.
Oh,
What?
yeah.
What?
Yeah, you've seen it all.
Okay, let's put on
Seen it
our
all.
kayfabe hat real quick. Is this was it made to keep The Rock in heel? Okay, because
No,
there's
I don't-
This whole documentary would have been scrapped and never come out if The Rock didn't say no, we need to make this, we need to put this out because I need to stay relevant. I need to get
That I
some
agree
nice
with.
little.
And he was a
pats on the
dickhead the
back.
whole time, but like
The whole
unintentionally,
fucking-
like not unintentionally, but like
Like he just is a dick.
it made it seem like,
Like-
it, but I also don't. I also
So-
think that they kind of played into it. Like I think they did that on purpose.
So
I
haven't
Yeah.
seen it yet, so I can't
made
dive
it an
into
angle.
everything. But based on all the stuff that's been coming out about him lately, like being 8 hours late to set and peeing in cup, The Rock might just be an asshole.
I'm leaning that way
Like-
because I just don't. And in watching it, and again, you don't have the context, but watching it, there was a lot of Triple H on camera. Yes, we came up with.
Yeah.
As a group, we thought about this.
And The
As
Rock
a
was-
collective, we came to this. Everyone came to the table for this decision. Cut to The Rock.
I did
it was
this.
my
Yeah.
idea to turn from this. It was my idea to go here. It was my idea to say no, Triple H. We got to flip this. We got to put Cody back in the main event. Maybe you mentioned it. I'm sure you were in the room and obviously greenlit it. We know that. Sorry, Rock. I don't think you fucking had as many of these choices as you say you had.
I just
I
just can't wait for Brian Gewirtz to come out and be like, no, The Rock's right. This
Yeah,
is totally
yeah,
what the,
yeah.
the guy that The Rock is paying is going
Exactly.
to come out and support The Rock.
I think
Shocker.
that the reason why there was a delay. This is my take on it. The reason why there was a delay was I think initially you were going to get that 15-minute YouTube
Right.
documentary, whatever it was, about the actual story. I think what happened was they saw an opportunity. Hey, The Rock's going to be away for a while. We want him to still be the bad guy because he told Cody before he left, like, when I come back, we have business to settle. And he's not going to come back and all of a sudden Cody's the bad guy. So what do? Hollywood Rock, right? He's the final boss. He's the one making all the decisions. He's the one making all the changes. So in this documentary, which again, keep in mind, this is the highest grossing actor in all of Hollywood.
Right.
I think he knows a thing or two about acting, whether you like his movies or not. What did he do? He played the like, I'm the boss. Yeah, I decided to do this. I decided to do this. I came up with this idea. Triple H, he pulls the Bob Backlund's belt, off of the thing. Is, hey, can I take a picture with this? And he's holding just like that, just like when he had the People's Champ
That
belt.
moment was so weird.
So I think that he did all of that, and this documentary was pushed back to further build that final boss character, which he also said is the greatest heel of all time. So that's what, like, to me. If that is all just incorrect, then The Rock is just a massive asshole.
Yeah, I hope you're right
I
for
do
storyline's sake, because I think that would be a hell of a storyline, and
Yeah.
it would be so cool if they thought that way. And honestly, I guess I wouldn't be surprised because in so many ways they've gone against conventional wisdom in this new run. But I think the reason why I don't think that's the case is I want to bring up, I don't know if you guys caught it, but who killed WCW? So obviously it was a $7 production, which is
Right.
Dwayne Johnson and Brian Gewirtz and his wife, his ex-wife, Danny Garcia. So it's their company. He didn't need to be in that documentary. He's in that fucking documentary more than Kevin Nash.
Right.
And
That's what I've heard.
he was never in WCW, never was there for any of the conversations, but is talking as if like one of the boys. And I'm like, dude, you don't even need to be in this. We don't need to see you once. You don't have anything to do with WCW. So I think that's my fear of actually, no, shit, this just might be him.
Damn.
And he knew. And that's why I think behind the scenes, just Rock as himself was booking himself as the final boss of like,
Right.
no, I'm making sure they know I did X, Y, and Z. And I think, sadly, I really do think that is just more him and his ego than it is booking. I hope to God I'm wrong. I really do. But like the way that came across, shout out to my man Leo who fucking texted me, was like, did you watch this? And I was like, yes, and had paragraphs ready about like, yo, what the fuck is up with The Rock? This was crazy. And then even some of the things I watched back and I was like, damn, yeah, that was even worse than I thought. So yeah, and also like Rock aside, they don't give us anything good.
Yeah,
there's
no.
no
Right.
real behind the scenes stuff. You don't get any insight to actual conversations or audio or video. Again, I really enjoyed some of the segments with Triple H. Even the stuff with Cody felt a little dry. There was one when he's on the bus.
On
I
the
think
bus,
after when it
yeah.
first happened, where you could feel the emotion. But other than that, it fell flat for in so many ways. I think with the Rock one has become more talked about because of the memes and it's been funny.
Right.
But just overall as a documentary compared to what they usually put out, it didn't
Pretty
hold
boring.
a candle to what we usually
all of
get.
the other WCW, all of the other WrestleMania 24s you get like the year later, after like
Yeah,
they usually do
after the
like,
next one.
those were infinitely better.
Yep.
I mean, the stuff that we got after the Lesnar Undertaker match, like all that behind the scenes shit, like all that stuff, infinitely better than what we got, which is disappointing because we've been waiting for this for
Yeah,
for
right.
3 months.
Because we know what it was behind the scenes.
Right.
We know, and even in the clips, like Seth alluding to, craziest build ever.
Right.
That's the most fucking like provocative thing he said in the whole doc was that.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing else to it. So yeah, it was super disappointing.
So-
and I think across the board, I think everybody felt that way. I don't think there was anyone who was like, no, fuck you, this thing was great.
So it sounds like even though it was average at best, I made the right choice watching the new Beverly Hills Cop over this documentary.
Yeah, Axel,
Yeah, I would-
Axel
yeah, I was-
Foley absolutely trumps.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
For
100%.
sure.
And that
Check
was-
it out.
okay.
Do check it out.
Yeah,
but
I do
like,
plan on watching it eventually. I'm
sadly,
not going to not watch
I don't
it.
think you miss much. Like
I just-
really. And
my-
I was so fucking excited for
They
it.
just my excitement level, the amount of time it took, my excitement level just dropped.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
again, allegedly, Brian Gewirtz, the guy The Rock pays,
Yeah.
says this isn't true, but allegedly it was because they needed The Rock to sign off on it. Like it just took The Rock forever to be like, yeah, this is fine, put it out.
Which
Yeah.
even more worse to think like if that's your tagline and the way it came across was like, so you needed the Rock to sign off and like this is what the final product was. So
Right.
like I don't know that helps. Yeah, I don't know.
Weird stuff.
I hope it is. To your point, Mike.
Yeah,
I hope to
I
God
do
you're
hope you're
right.
right.
I hope you are fucking right.
Tinfoil hat is on, baby.
Like
It's on.
I don't want to be like, yeah, The Rock's an asshole, but like
Yeah.
all the stuff that's coming out about him lately. Again, these are all just rumors; they could be wrong.
Yeah, we've
it's
read a
starting to
fucking-
feel like maybe The Rock's just
We've
an
read a
asshole.
Harry Potter book of tea leaves on
Exactly.
this.
Nobody ever stays at the top.
No.
Yeah,
Nobody ever does. It's like the
That
people
fall
you
from grace.
love. There's always going to be something that comes out about them that people are going to try to dig and bring them down. And sometimes it's self-sabotage, but it's people that get them there. It's the ego
Yeah.
that they inflate. It's everything involved. So I don't know.
And
I'm,
I think
I'm holding out
I
hope
don't know
that
if it was last week or the week before. I think I mentioned it. I was like, that's why he's back in WWE because I think he wore his welcome in so many other spaces.
Well,
and
yeah,
he
I mean,
knows
yeah.
if I go back to WWE, I just created this character, the Final Boss, which kudos to him for creating that. He's like, now I've kind of created what my retirement from real life is going to be. I can go back to WWE and be this asshole, and they're going to love me for it because it's the business. They're never going to not love me.
That's true.
That's the thing. Like you were correct, Mike. He is the highest grossing actor, I think, probably of all time. But his movie career is starting to dwindle.
Yeah.
Black Adam bombed, and now he's doing an A24 movie, which is insane.
Which looks great, but
to
he's
think
currently
about.
like hurt, so like I
Right.
hope that doesn't hinder anything. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's not the easiest time for him outside of professional wrestling.
Right.
Not a great look. Not a great look at all. To the kayfabe cousins, why don't you give us a brief AEW update? I am way out on AEW. Do not ask me anything.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll pivot to you first. Wait a minute, since
All right.
you saw the whole show.
I did. So it opened with an Ospreay promo, basically calling out MJF for what he did.
Do you like that jersey?
I kind of do.
I kind of like that jersey.
Like
it
the
keeps
Bruv
finding
one,
its
you
way
mean?
into my email, and I'm
Yeah.
like, this thing's kind of cool.
I'm not going to spend money on it.
I'm not. It's
but
too
like,
much money.
It is
but
kind of cool.
I kind of like it. Kind of like it.
And he cut a big promo about, honestly, he cut a promo on MJF about him attacking Danny Garcia, and it really felt like they were building to that's going to be the match at All In. And then MJF had a video response. He wasn't actually in the building, and now they're actually going to do that match next week because it's Dynamite 250. So give a big match. Apparently that's opening too next week, which is
Ooh.
going to be
Banger.
pretty interesting to see how that goes. And then I think the very next thing was the Owen Hart final between Hangman
Danielson
and
and Hangman.
Danielson, which I didn't see.
That
I
was-
really
that was a
thought
good match.
Hangman was going to win, but that match was incredible, and
That was
I'm
an awesome
super
match.
looking forward to Swerve versus Danielson and All In. That's going to be a great
that
match.
was a good match. I caught most of that match. I missed the first couple minutes, but I got there by the time Blood got there.
Yeah.
So I got to see.
Which was like almost right away.
Yeah, I know.
It's
So
a
I didn't miss
Danielson match,
much.
though.
So I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
The Jeff Jarrett spot
Was
is
great.
hilarious.
Yeah.
And then, like, obviously, if you know the story of Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart, you know how they built Jeff Jarrett in this tournament. He loses in the first
Yeah.
match, which kudos for him.
Yeah.
Because he could have
He
absolutely
saw
been
the
a
big
dick
picture.
and been like, no, I need to go over. I need to be in the final to
Yeah.
build the story. And he knew enough to step away. So
Yeah.
bravo to you for that, Jeff Jarrett. But him coming in, Hangman looked like purposely kind of deked Danielson into hitting the ref and knocking
Yeah.
Paul Turner out. And then Jeff Jarrett pops in, of course, takes his shirt off, and he's happy to be wearing a
Right.
cutoff sleeve
Of
referee
course.
shirt.
gotta
And,
be
and,
involved.
and took us home from there. Really cool roll up by Danielson
Yeah.
to secure the pin and the victory. I thought that was cool, and I also think that's going to now put Hangman on a similar like Scorch Earth. Now I can go
Yes.
and wherever I'm going to go next,
Yeah.
I can just beat the shit out of everyone.
So he's going to be in the Blood and Guts match, which I don't know if that's next week or 2 weeks or when
Okay.
that's going to be. He's going to be
On
on
whose?
Team Elite.
Hangman is.
Yeah.
He did it. He did agree. I thought they
So-
asked him, and he said no.
No, well, there was a scene where like he bangs on their door, and then
So he's going back home.
Okada comes out, and they have a big confrontation, which makes me think that could be the all-in match, Hangman versus Okada. And then the Young Bucks come out and they're like, no, it's all good. What do you want? He's like, I'll do it. And then he left.
Oh fuck.
So I think
okay.
I'm assuming that means he's going to be either
That
it
must be
means
because they asked him last week, so
Right,
that
exactly.
makes sense. Which I think at first I'm like, oh, is he turning? Well, not turning. Is he going back to Elite? But I think now, no, it's just gonna be. I'm gonna
it's
get
just
in
gonna
this
be a one-time
match so I
thing,
can
yeah.
beat these other guys up. Because
Exactly.
again, I'm Hangman, so I'm
Right.
a lone wolf. I do
Especially-
my own thing.
especially because Swerve's in the match.
In
He
the match
definitely
with
still
him
has
now.
the beef
Yep,
with
still- yep.
Swerve. So now he's like, all right, I can beat the
I
shit
kind
out
of
of
like
him in a
that.
cage.
I like that. I like the
Yeah.
way they booked that.
I do too, and I do think, like I said, I think it's going to lead to the way it was set up to start, I think is going to lead to Hangman and Okada at All In.
I could see
I'm
that.
all for that.
Absolutely, because you can put the belt on Hangman if you want. You don't have to. You can keep it on Okada, but I also think just putting it on Okada for this couple months got you exactly what you wanted out of it.
Exactly.
Like, it was just giving him that kind of stamp of approval with the American audience and maybe the folks who didn't know him of, hey, he's really, really good and we're putting this belt on him, but you don't have to keep it on him long at all.
Also, then Pac won a number one contenders match for the
Fatal
international
four-way.
title.
That was where the fuck did that go? It was what, Kyle Fletcher, Claudio, Pac, and
fourth guy.
Ito. No, fucking what the fuck? Ishii.
Yeah.
Ito. Ishii was in it. So what was the payoff from that though?
So now Pac's the number one contender for the international title.
Okay.
If they didn't say when, I'm thinking that's also going to be All In, which means it will be Pac versus probably Ospreay at All In. Which fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think we're gonna get Garcia MJF at All In.
Ooh, I would love that.
Which also fuck yeah.
I would love that. Couple pillars.
The way it's looking like it's gonna go, All In's looking like it's gonna be a solid card.
It should be a really good card.
And then
because then we get next week champion versus champion Okada versus Swerve, not for the belt.
Not for the. I don't think it's for the belt. I think
should
it's
just be a hell of a match on 250.
And I also think that's gonna have a. There's no way that's gonna have a clean ending.
There's no way. I think that could be where we see who are the other four members of the elites. I mean, of the AEW team. Because Swerve the only one.
Swerve and Darby Allin.
Okay, so who are the other three? Yeah. Darby where is he? Is he on Everest? Where the fuck is he at now?
He showed up this week. He attacked Brandon Cutler backstage. Spray painted half of his face.
Brandon Cutler?
Yeah, I know.
Jesus Christ.
He's still around.
We still got the mask on?
I think he did.
Fucking guy.
That I care. I know he did like his face paint on half of his face, but I can't remember if he did it like over the mask.
Speaking of masks, is a weird tangent back, but I'm upset at JC Jane. She has the mask, but she doesn't wear it. So I get why they gave her fucking Cody's mask, but if she wasn't going to wear it, what the fuck? She's going to carry it around?
Right.
It makes no sense. But
it's like Gunther with the crown.
Yeah.
Which I do kind of like him not wearing the crown.
That makes sense for him.
Then you also got the Mercedes promo that Britt Baker did interrupt
the real
again.
Coronation.
Yeah. So that's definitely going to be All In is those two.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that would be really good.
I'm worried about Mercedes, man. I don't like. I know. I do think they're better now positioning her as a heel and fully leaning into it and putting her with the elite, because I think that's the only way. People are not going to cheer for her. You might as well make it so they're not supposed to cheer for her.
Exactly.
Because the comments last week, shut the fuck up in the middle of the promo. She looked a little frazzled. We know Britt Baker can fucking cut a promo, and naturally the people love her. She's homegrown. Yeah. She's one of theirs. So Mercedes got her. She's got to cut her teeth a little bit. She can do it.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think at least I think saving grace is that they lean into the heel thing.
Yeah, and they definitely lean into it this week in that promo. Like, she's definitely already a heel. Right. And then Mariah May wins the women's.
Oh, that was good. That was great. I didn't miss. That won the tournament, beat Willow. It was a good match too.
Great match.
Really good match. And then the way the turn happened, I thought was perfect.
That was
didn't happen in the ring, so I don't think anybody was expecting it. Get to the top of the ramp. She runs up, grabs the belt, turns around, just blasts.
I didn't expect it to happen.
I didn't think it was going to happen.
I thought it was going to be be a couple weeks from now.
Same.
Like,
but I'm glad they
all
did, because I think now you can build up the craziness of Mariah May. She beats the shit out of Tony, beats Luther. Fucking, they messed up a little. I think she was supposed to knock him through the table a little sooner than she did, but knocks Luther off.
I think he was in the wrong spot first, and then he's like, oh shit, I need to get over here.
Yeah, he was teetering a bit.
I put that on Luther more than on her.
Maybe. That makes sense. Mariah's been awesome, so I could see that not being her misstep. But that was awesome. Leaning in, obviously, Toni Storm ripped her fucking head open.
Yeah.
She bled a lot, and then sticking the heel in.
When Danielson level.
Rubbing her cheek across the open wound, Mariah May, and then just standing over her like a fucking lioness. Yeah. It was a perfect turn. I think the perfect way to build her. I can totally see her starting next week with a promo coming out and just going all in on why she turned on her and now why it's. I'm so excited for that match.
I think she's gonna win it all.
I think she's too.
The next
I don't know
AEW Women's Champion.
I don't know how she does it. Toni has given you everything she could out of this run, and been so gracious enough to build Mariah at the exact same time.
Yep.
She's absolutely deserving, and I highly doubt Toni would feel any sort of way about dropping that to Mariah.
I think she'll be
and
fine
that
with
pop would be awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I wouldn't be mad if that started all in.
Oh, that would be a great kickoff.
Give me that as the first match. I would love that. Good episode.
Yeah.
AEW, I want to give them credit. They've been stringing together some good episodes lately. Is it a coincidence that MJX back? Probably fucking not.
Probably not. No,
and I also worry that, not worry, but I do wonder if they were bringing him back and they weren't sure if they were going to go face or heel, and they gave it maybe a week and then they just leaned into him turning on Garcia. I don't know if they were always going to go back to that same heel.
I actually think a lot of it depended on Adam Cole. Like, if he was going to be, I think
that makes sense,
because that would have been ready for All In. They would have done that match.
I think they made a pivot on MJF after he came back. I don't think they were going to lean back into this the same way.
I think they were waiting to decide which way he was going to go. I agree with that.
No, but they're in a good spot. Shout out to AEW. They've been putting good stuff together.
They're slowly starting to come back to where they were like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yep.
The Blimp's downfall is basically because they're not efficient. All right, they, in 1852 when they were invented.
Mental floss.
Yeah, well, that's what I was trying to do there. I've been so out of AEW, I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. This is mental floss for me. The Hindenburg crash that fucked up a lot of people. That my battery is dead, so we're gonna go here. That's a perfect way to end it. Blimp talk.
Get on in here, Mike. This is gonna make you look great.
Blimp talk. Yeah, did we miss anything? I don't even know if I'm on camera.
I mean, it's been a week. If we missed anything, it wasn't deserving of being talked about this week.
That's a fact.
There was some good shit this week.
We got a special guest joining us next week. We're excited about that. We got some more guests on the way, some fun stuff for our audience, and continue to like, subscribe, watch, view. The YouTube interaction has been fantastic.
Interact, man. We try our best to try to live tweet during shows and different things. And we want that commentary to go both ways. We want to hear from you and what you're thinking.
At EIPW Podcast, that's on X. So go ahead and hit that follow button, fellas.
We gotta give a quick shout out to our man No C.
That's right, No C.
We gotta give a quick shout out and new wrestling podcast. Our buddy No C and three of his good buddies just started.
Yep.
Want to show them some love. We can't wait to be on your platform and have you all as a collective be back on our platform, man.
They dropped a teaser, I think, today. It looks incredible.
Stock up, stock down after Money in the Bank.
I'm very looking forward to their stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope.
Awesome stuff, man. Shout out to No C. Shout out to everybody. Continue to like, subscribe. Catch you guys next week. Peace.